us. And here we go.
In 5, 4, 3.
Call to me, lands far away.
Elves have forests to protect.
We need to build a wall.
Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
No.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
Everyone! I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
To him finally being lionized in the prime and his prime. Fuck.
Do it!
Shit.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams change. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Luke went from being... Oh, no. Welcome, Slayer Nation. I have some great news for you today. I hope you're all doing great. Nope, that didn't work. One more.
You have failed me for the last time.
Welcome, Slayer Nation. I hope...
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
That is eating away at what you love in order for it to shine. And one man's vision is... Sometimes you don't have to make things better for them to be great again. You merely have to Okay. Hollywood continues to slow boil the culture and crazy. Well, right now, Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield has stepped up and he's fighting motherfucker.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
And unbearded dwarves, but Prime didn't stop there. They stapled in intersectionality, individuality, biddiga-dig-bee, biddiga-dig-boo.
So it begins.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, George the Giant Slayer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Slayer Nation Live. I'm your host, George Molo, and it is February 23rd, 2025 in the year of our Lord. How are you all doing? The Monologues was released today. If you haven't checked it out, go. 3.5 years to write that. They only shot it. It's out there now. Slayer Nation has planted its flag in the culture war. You know, because to me, an idea isn't truly dead until you actually bury it. And then once that happens, all we have left are the remaining battles. The insurgents who refuse to give up the last rears. And we're going to go after them. And we're going to help our cousins across the pond in the United Kingdom crush their woke target. But we got a lot of news to cover this week, and it is great to see you all, my friends. Darth, how you doing? Toxic Waltz, Mecca J, Aaron Charman. We had an incredible member stream yesterday. Mr. Brown's Alliance, how you doing, my friend? Caledon 90, Adam Rice, Jill Powers, the River Daughter. All beautiful people. Also, please meet and thank our incredible moderators. Eric K, King of the Mods, Lord Thoth, Olaf, and got Fletcher Williams in the back producing. Amazing group of people. This week, like every day, it's like sometimes it's like Trump's news every day is like a week of news. But Hollywood is also the same. We had Captain Checkbox. It seemed to have lost anywhere reported from 68% to 75% a drop at the box office. We're going to talk to everybody about that when they get in. But we're only going to do it for a very short time because I'm sick of fucking talking about Captain America Brave New World. Star Wars for the Mouse House. Skeleton Crew, it was also reported, did not once hit the Nielsen ratings. Nowhere. Just vamos, gone. Jeff Bezos stuck his greedy little fingers into another pie. Amazon has officially taken over James Bond, so prepare for Miss Bond anytime soon. Barbara Broccoli has been sent out to pasture. Daniel Craig thought it was okay to congratulate everyone for the new Bond, the intersectional Bond. The Bond for everyone and no one, and none of us can watch it because it's a piece of shit. And we got a lot more news. Doge is pissing everybody off. Elon Musk, he's got his flag and he's moving forward. And Trump schooled the governor of Maine, who shows everybody how to win, and he gave an incredible speech at CPAC. But it's time to get going. Like right out of the gate, we got Mouse World 666 gifting 5 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Way to go, Mouse World. Bless you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Everybody, give them a cheer. Supporters. That's a wonderful, beautiful thing because it makes us grow, keeps the lights on, and gets our voices out there. Go ahead and thank Mouse World 666. What a beautiful soul you have. So let's fill up the flamethrowers and roast all the stupid and spit out all the truth. Let's bring them out here. We got the king of cutting commentary himself, Verbal Riot, and the man of truth, DA. Plus, we also have a good friend of mine, Mr. Grant Gregory. It's his first time on the show. This is a master of AI and shorts. Let me tell you, he can put things into a video that just blow you away. And we're waiting for Tom and everyone else. How are y'all doing, gentlemen?
Doing good, man.
Good night.
Good. Good.
It's been a fun weekend. That's all I can say.
Fun weekend?
Yeah, for me it has. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I've just been very busy.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
It's always good to be busy, and always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite once again.
Always. I don't think it'd be a show without all of y'all. Yeah, y'all are amazing. Grant, how are you doing?
Doing good, brother. Happy to be here. Sorry I missed last week. But yeah, no, I'll be here for a little bit today, so it should be good. I'm very happy, and congratulations on the video. I know it's gonna go gangbusters, especially once we get some shorts out. It'll be nice and fun. Absolutely. Maybe add you into a few movie scenes, with a big speech like the Great Dictator at the end. We'll put you in there instead.
That's a good idea. Thank you, brother, for that one. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. If everybody hasn't seen it on Slayer Nation, go check it out. And if you can share it with look, if everybody shares it with 5 people, we're gonna make this go gangbusters. Because I think we need that shift. We need to plant that flag. That's why I want to do it. Critical Drinker just posted about it about an hour ago. So I'm really grateful to him. I mean, what
I liked it, man. Really well done, George. You crushed it, bro.
Thank you, my friend. And
how long did it take you to make that, man?
The film didn't take long. It took me 3.5 years to write.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
It was, but the thing is it was originally 3 hours. And so I had to keep paring it down. Yes, there is a George cut somewhere, but there's, it's like I wrote it for 3 hours. And I kept
call it the Slayer cut.
The Slayer cut. Yeah. I kept paring it.
Release the Slayer cut.
Yeah. No, I kept paring it down. I thought maybe I can do it, after this, I'll do like a part 2, but because I started breaking things down more in a micro levels, like each section.
Yeah, that's writing, man. I mean, what you start out with is rarely what you end up with when you're writing anything. So,
you know what was odd about that? When I wrote the first 2 paragraphs, I'm like, that's it. I love that. And then I was like, can I just do that? And I'm like, it was like 10 seconds. I'm like, no. And then I'm like, let me add a little bit more and then a little bit more. And then I'm like, God, I don't like that. You know how it is. You go back and forth. And does this work? Does that work? Let me put migraine.
It's like I always tell people, man, writing is easy, man, but the rewrites are what breaks your soul.
Oh, yeah. Because you got to cut. Because you got to make cuts that you really don't want to cut. You got to start cutting out like a lot of your favorite little parts. You just got to cut them loose.
Yeah, because really every writer thinks thhinks spinning gold. You know what I mean? And then when you're told to cut it down, you're like, I can't. I love every word I've said.
You're asking me to put down one of my children. I can't do that.
Yes, I feel that way. Yeah. And you know who taught me that? My brother Sendeg. There would be lines like I would share with him in anything that we do. And I'd be like, I love this line. He's like, you must learn to differentiate what's real and relevant between the fat and what you love. And I would find that there would be lines that I love and I refused to want to cut them, but it's like I had to step back and go, is that really necessary here? Is it one too many? But that drove me crazy because I felt that was.
And this is filmmaking in a nutshell, man. Yeah. Filmmaking is what you have to cut. So
why doesn't Hollywood learn that?
You know what? They used to know it. Hollywood used to know how to do this.
They did.
Do they have artists? But are there artists and people that are like that know filmmaking at the top now? It seems like everything is just executive level, and it's really not about the artist anymore. It's about content. It's about making money. That's the major issue. You got to have some artists, some people that love the craft, and then they will tell you that this isn't working. You got to get rid of this. That's the reason, I think.
Well, it's funny, to be fair, there was never really a lot of artists that were at the top of any of these studios or anything like that. But the problem is, it's the people that are in the middle management, the ones that actually still give a crap. The executives only give a crap about whether someone tells them it's going to make money. That's all they care about.
There was always that middle management that was like, who's kind of an artist, but at the same time can speak the language of the suits. You know what I mean? Like you always had to have that guy in Hollywood. You know what's funny? I was watching Entourage the other day, rewatching it. Oh my God, right. I rewatched that show probably like 20 times already.
Love the first season.
Love it. Here's the thing. I think as jokey as that show is, you would learn a lot about the film business watching that show because I mean they were dropping some gems that were very inside baseball, but they were smart enough to do it in a way that was comedic and it was funny. But that level of filmmaking or just Hollywood back then is what I wish we kind of get back to now.
I agree. Well, what about what Christopher Reeve said? We showed it Wednesday, verbal. Hey, Tom is here. Let's bring him out. The man of 1,000 talents. How you doing, my good friend? Hello. Good. Welcome. But we shared it on Unchained this week. Verbal. Remember we showed the Christopher Reeve segment where he said Hollywood, when he was coming up, was run by artists who knew how to run a business. They were storytellers. And he says, now I think it was an interview from '84. I have the clip here somewhere. And he was saying now it's all corporations. It's what DA was saying. But today it's all analytics. I mean, after Maya Hawke said, they don't hire you anymore for your talent. It's how many Instagram followers you have.
Isn't that wild? I thought that was the wildest thing I've heard in a long time. Like, okay, so you're going to get cast in a movie because you have more Instagram followers than this other actress, even though she might literally be the better actress.
I've been saying it for years. And this is why we got Robert Pattinson as the Batman instead of Nicholas Hoult.
But you don't think I think he's a good actor.
Robert Pattinson's a phenomenal actor, though, as well, to go with that.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to get
look, you guys got rosy-colored glasses when it comes to the Batman.
No, not the Batman. I like him in the
I'm saying his other works. All of his indie works is phenomenal.
Yeah, I didn't like him in the Batman. I will give that, but I liked him in Lighthouse. I did. I wanted
that was the reason we were told directly is why, even though Matt Reeves wanted Nicholas Hoult,
I didn't
the
know
studio wanted Robert Pattinson. I've said this before, but the studio wanted Robert Pattinson because he had a bigger social media following.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous reason to hire anybody in the film. But it goes to show you though how desperate the studios are now, right? They need someone who's going to pull in money for them. Instead of focus on writing a good story, instead of focus on getting good directors, good actors, telling a story that everybody likes, or at least everyone can relate to, or, at least entertaining, they have resorted to, hey, you know what? Let's hire Logan Paul because he has,
a bazillion,
5 million, Instagram followers.
But are these people going to go out and buy tickets? That's the question. Like, if they all went out and bought tickets, it would make sense. But these people don't. They don't.
Well, they claim that they were the reason Wicked was a hit, for instance.
No way.
But this is why Zendaya. This is why Rachel Zegler keeps getting work.
Film. Like that's the dumbest argument ever.
Wicked did well because it was
for Hollywood.
film.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
I agree with
that's
you.
where the Hollywood follows this shit. And that's why like Rachel Zegler and all these other ones still keep getting work all the time because they have such a huge following on social media.
You said the truth.
They didn't go watch what was that movie she just dropped? Y2K. They didn't go watch that shit. All of them people that follow her didn't go watch that. That thing bombed. Yo, if you're gonna like hire people based on that, like start cross correlating. All right, she got I don't know how many Instagram followers or whatever. How did that translate into actual money? Oh, it didn't. Okay, maybe this social media shit isn't real life. Maybe we actually need to start going back and doing what we used to do, which is actually hiring people based on talent.
Yeah, that's too much.
Well, they actually used to make movie stars. That was the other thing too.
It used to be that we have to find an actor that not only has a talent, they have to fit the role, they have to fit the character, they have to have a certain presence. And now it's like, no, how many X, how many Instagram, TikTok? Oh man, that's the trifecta. Not can they sing, dance, act?
It's the death of the character actor. Character actors, you never knew nothing about them personally. Yeah. That was the whole point of them. Like that completely kills the idea of someone who can embody a character. Like
we just lost one yesterday. He died. That character actor who did 70 films. My God, what's his name? It was just in the press. Hold on. His name is... I never knew the names of character actors. It's funny. Be like, I've seen this dude in everything, but his name is...
Yeah, that's the curse of the character actor, man. It's just, you never know their real names. It's just, you've seen that guy in everything.
Where the fuck did he
I'm
go?
a loser then, because I usually do.
No,
if you're like filmers like us, yes.
Yeah, I know. But
regular,
I'm like always like, yes, William Fichtner's in this. Like,
yeah, the average normie doesn't.
Someone's got to find him for me. It's a character actor who just died yesterday, and they announced it.
What was he in?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't hear anything. I heard Missy Vaughn passed away. The lady who played Missy Vaughn.
Talking about.
He's got silver hair. It's a white guy with silver hair. I know that doesn't say much.
Peter Jason.
Steve Martin.
He died 2 days ago. Deadwood, Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, that's him from.
Oh yeah, that guy was in everything, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's too bad.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. That's the sad part about the character actor. You're like, you see them in everything, but can't remember who the hell they are.
How many movies has James Hong been in?
Yeah, he was in Deadwood.
Right? But yeah, we don't. The average person doesn't know like the character actor's name. But here's the thing: like you can always rely on those actors.
Walton Goggins,
or
all those kind of guys.
Well, Walter Goggins, I can't call. Well, he is a character actor, but
he started more as a character actor.
He's becoming
now he's working his way up the ranks. Yeah,
but I
He's
remember
one of those few things where you go, "Oh, that guy," and then now you actually remember his name. You call him by his name.
Yeah.
But for years, everyone also called him Walter, which is even funnier.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. What is it?
I found something funny last week, and I wanted to share it last Sunday, but I didn't get a chance. So I want to start off because I always bring up North Carolina first. We're going to get to that in a second, what's going on there ever since Hurricane Helene. But I found this first, and it's one of those things that renews your spirit in humanity and hope.
I actually think this is a couple of years old, but yeah.
Yeah, but I've just found it.
See, I've seen it a few times now over the years.
There it is. I was rooting for the girl myself. She wins in the end.
I mean, I like that. However old it is, when it pops up, you see it. The guy, could have kept it for himself, but he did the right thing and gave it to the kid. And I was like,
I like that one chick who, like, took it out of that one little
He
girl's
snatched
hand.
it out of the little girl's hand. Yeah,
I was just
going
to bring that up. Yeah, like as opposed to some of the other ones we've seen.
no, that's horrible. And of course, we also have North Carolina. So to set the stage here, what's interesting is that Musk put out a memo to all government, all federal employees that by tomorrow, they are to give bullet points on what they accomplished at work for the last week. Also, they're all supposed to report to work, not do work from home. So they threw a bitch fest. I mean, they've been whining and complaining, going on everywhere. Yet we have in North Carolina people who are still living in tents in the middle of winter.
If I still
In the middle of winter. In the middle of winter. Who do you think should be bitching more? People living in tents in the middle of winter or fucking federal employees, pardon my language, who have been told you have to report to work and you have to bullet out what you accomplished at work last week?
Well, we're seeing the same thing in California right now, man, or in LA, like people who are displaced because of the fires and who lost their homes.
Yeah.
Obviously we have it a lot better here weather-wise than the people in North Carolina. I mean, even as I speak right now, it's like 70 degrees. So, but still, these people lost their homes.
Yeah, of course.
They lost their homes. And yeah, I think now, and I think the more and more things like this happen, the more and more like people who were on the fence are going to start calling out these people's bullshit.
I hope so.
Because it's like, dude, we lost our homes and you guys are crying because you have to go into the office to work.
I mean, have you ever heard of such a crybaby thing before? I got to go to the office. And they're all over social media. I got to go to the office. Like, and it's like, your ass has got to work. Work. Anyway, I think part of that disease.
I don't know, George. You got to understand these people have gotten used to not having to work for 5 years or so because the pandemic was still a thing, right. And now they have to go back and use keyboard. That's just I feel sorry for them, poor fellas. How do they survive?
I don't know, but I want to see their ass back to work. Tom's expression is perfect. Perfect. Blitzen gifted 10 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships. Welcome back, Blitzen. You're one of the greatest supporters and a producer for the day. Thank you. Please, everybody, go thank Blitzen. Yeah. Now, let's talk about. Whoa, we just lost Verbal. He was about.
Yeah, I think he was frozen for a while. Either that or he likes to really stare into the camera.
Back. I think he was about to say something spicy. It always happens to him.
Always happens.
He's going to say something, and the algorithm knew it, and it's like, get him the hell out of here. Captain America Brave New World implodes with 68% drop in second weekend. So I'm putting it. I am going to put. We're going to talk about this one round when DA gets back, but who wants to start off? Because I want to keep I'm tired of Captain America Brave New World. I just want to update everybody. Is this something that you expected, Tom?
Kind of. Honestly, I expect it to be a little less because, I mean, the only reason I think it might be a little more is just because it happened to make just a little bit more than Captain or the Marvels. I mean, not Captain.
Okay.
Because I don't think that had as bad of a drop off, but that's because that didn't open very well. This had a pretty big opening, but yeah, at this point, I was waiting for Monday morning where all the articles are going to say Captain America falters and falls to the monkey or whatever, trying to blame the monkey for the movie failing. And I said this last night. Verbal knows what I'm talking about, where I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit because there is no shared audience there. They can try and pretend if they want, and I'm not saying they will do this, but I predict they will. Try to make that comparison and say, oh, the monkey unexpectedly did better than we thought it would, so that's why Captain America failed or didn't do as well. And I'm going to be like, no, bullshit, not even the same audience. Because
I'm sure Salon.com will come out with a racist remark saying that the monkey took over the Black-led movie. They always do stuff like that when things happen.
Jesus.
No, it is not a bindi. I did not convert to Hinduism. I bumped my head earlier today, so that's the red dot. Yeah. Bump the noggin. It happens.
You met a woman.
So what do you think, Verbal? 68%, is that is something you expected?
More or less. I mean, here's the thing, man. I knew the first weekend would probably be pretty decent just because we're in the month of February. There's no good movies out anyway. It's an MCU film, so just out of pure curiosity, people are going to go watch it. But I knew in the second week that's when the truth comes out, right? Okay. And I think I said this last night too on Flashcast that the truth is always in the second week, not the first week.
Okay, well, DA, you don't happen to know what the hell the average was for the first few phases of the MCU, like the drop in second weekend?
I mean, superhero movies always have like a massive drop in that second weekend. It's rare exceptions to that.
Okay.
And that's just because, it's the first weekend and it usually supplies the theaters with a lot of people. Everybody wants to go and see that first weekend because they don't want spoilers. They want to be in the conversation, like that's the way it used to be. I want to be in the office conversation. I want to come to work on Monday and everybody's talking about it. It's like, oh crap, I didn't watch that. So everybody is kind of incentivized to go out and watch the movie the first weekend. The real thing is, what's the word of mouth like? Because if it's a good movie, it's going to get good word of mouth and people are going to say, hey man, go check that movie out. It's really good. I think you'll like it. And then more people go and see it. And then on the flip side, you'll get a rewatchability factor where it's, more people will go and rewatch the movie. And so those really, really good movies, they usually have like somewhere around a 50%, which probably is bad for a lot of places, but for an MCU movie, that's great. Like 50% drop would be great. 60%, that's bad. Getting up there to 70%, like this one is 68%. And, we still got to wait for the final numbers to come out, but yeah, it could be 70%, which is what Ant-Man and the Wasp
it's on par with Black Widow and Thor: Love and Thunder. They were both 67, 68%. The best one that they had, the best drop off they've ever had was Black Panther at 44%, and then second one was Thor at 47%.
Unbelievable. So where does it go in the third week if it's got a drop of 68%? This is basically it. This is cutting its legs off, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think after this, everybody that wants to see this movie has probably seen this movie, and that's it. So the rest of the folks that are coming to check it out might be some stragglers, but I don't think the box office moves much after this. I think it's going to float around the $350 million range, somewhere in that range, 350 to maybe 375. I think that's where it tops out at.
So it's not going to make up its money, like we said.
No, they're taking a loss.
Not even. And what's funny is it's not even going to make the fake $180 million that they're boasting.
Nope.
Like that's the beauty of it is they've been trying to spin this, and this is where I said this to begin with. So try to spin something else to make it look good, but that's just it. It's at such a low level now that we're just going to sit there and point and laugh at it like the Marvels and go, you can't spin this. There's no way you can make this sound like it's a win in any world because it's never going to make its money back now.
And you know what though? This loss wouldn't be as bad. Or wouldn't be so bad, but the fact that we all know Snow White is going to be an even bigger loss, that's, I don't know, man. Disney needs some wins. They need some wins, and right now they don't have them.
I don't want Snow White to win, damn it. Not with Rachel Ziegler.
No, because I'm gonna tell you right now, even with Daredevil, right? I think a lot of people are kind of optimistic about that, and they're kind of looking forward to Daredevil. Even with that, though, that's not going to bring that many people to Disney Plus. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to bring us who are fans of the Netflix series, but we're talking worldwide. Even just countrywide, it's not going to bring people
the million back they lost
purely because of Daredevil. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not going to bring the million subscribers they lost because of the price hikes and the politics.
So they're still operating at a loss here, man. Like I don't know what their big win is going to be. I mean, we can all guess Fantastic Four, but we don't even know that for sure. You know what I mean? So
unless Thunderbolt surprises everybody somehow.
That might be the one big surprise, man. I was saying that last night. I think Thunderbolts might be the big one that they didn't know they had. So
that'd be.
I think it's going to be a good movie. I just don't think people are. I think people are dialed.
I was going to say, don't oversell it. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I think people are just done, and it's like, yeah, you know what? It'll show up on Disney Plus in about 3 months or whatever. I can wait. It's not that big a deal, especially where prices are right now. You go to the movies, man. It's like you're spending a lot of money to go to a movie theater. Especially if you want to see it in a premium format. If you don't already have like A-list or something like that, some sort of a movie, recognition program. I mean, you're spending a ton of bread. So it's like, I can wait for this. This isn't that important. This doesn't feel important. Like like in the first 3 phases of the MCU. Oh, I was there day one. I was at every single like Thursday night, whatever.
Yeah,
I was there. You had to be there because it was talked about in my circles.
It's an event.
We were all big fans, and it's like, yo, I'm showing up, and the movies were good. The movies were good. Not all of them were great, but some of them were, you know, most of them were good. So that's what the MCU is missing. Good movies. And after you have what do we got? The Marvels. After the Marvels, you go to Daredevil and Wolverine, which is really a Fox thing. And then you come and follow that up with this. And then you've had the Disney Plus content. It's like, man, everybody's checked out.
Yeah, that's
Everybody's
pretty much
checked out.
Well, the only successes that they've had have been a Sony product and a Fox product. Like it's
right.
It hasn't been Disney-based products that have actually made any sort of money.
What have I been saying for the last few weeks? Actually, more like months.
I mean, the problem is that they're counting all their they're counting all their chickens, I think, on Fantastic Four. But really, honestly, I don't really think they're going to start seeing anything big happen until Doomsday. Like, I think Doomsday is what will probably bring old MCU fans back to the theater, because, like I said, I don't think the Fantastic Four is a guarantee of anything.
No, because people will be watching Superman at that time. I think it was a bad time for them to release it 11 days after.
I don't even think when they bring back it's going to make a difference. People don't want to see Robert Downey Jr. as a bad guy.
Coming out July. I'm sorry, Grant. Go ahead, bro.
Sorry, mate. I got a bit of a delay with my thing. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying, I think they're overestimating the power of Robert Downey Jr. because a lot of normies don't want to see him as the bad guy.
Yeah,
because
of course.
they grew up with him as
the good guy.
as the good
Iron
guy.
Man,
Like,
right.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that Doom is the baddest of the baddest guys, right? Like, not only did they cast him as a bad guy who can kind of be reformed a little bit, no, Doom is the worst.
Well, wait a minute.
He took over the world twice and gave it up because he got bored with slaving humanity. That's this is the character we're talking about.
Wait, isn't there? Which one is the God Doom? The one in white, which is the good guy. Isn't there the Doom, the good guy that they rewrote? The one of them that they rewrote. I can't remember the.
Well, we all know they're going to find a way to swing it back around, so he's playing Iron Man eventually, whatever version it is, we don't know. But at the end of the day, it smells like desperation, and that's the problem. And I think the audience has caught on to that. And when they go to see movies like this more recent one, I know you didn't want to talk about this very long, George, so we can probably move on to something else if you want to. I mean, I think that it was hit a brick wall. I've been saying for a while, if Superman doesn't perform and Fantastic Four doesn't perform, you can officially put a fork in the comic book superhero.
100% agree. 100% agree. 100% agree. If Superman fails and it fails, 100% agree with you, Tom. 100% agree. It's the Phobos for $5. We're in this mess because he's talking about the federal employees with Doge. So many federal employees didn't do their jobs. What do you think allowed this explosion of corruption and outright theft? Because they all claimed their little fiefdoms and they thought they could do whatever the hell they want. If you saw recently, we'll talk about it after we get through Hollywood. Oh My God Media with James O'Keefe released one of those secret videos where they were taping a manager for the Department of Education, and you saw that dude's like, we're going to do whatever the hell we want, we use Signal, and we're getting around the keystroke logger that Musk put on, and we'll continue doing. I'm like, yeah, bye-bye, dude. It's like
James O'Keefe amazes me every single time. He gets these cats to talk because some chick shows up and goes on a date with him, and he got a nice rack, and it's like these guys are just spewing out all the dirty secrets and telling this chick everything. It's like, bro, why are you talking to this woman like that? It's wild.
You know why he's talking to her like that? He wants to bang her.
He wants to bang her.
Think for a second, man. Stop thinking with your dick. Like, start thinking with your head. Like,
that's a hard ask. That's
you must think what kind of woman that they're spending.
I want to see what women look like. Yeah. Because I'm like, if I'm looking at some like 5, I'm like, bro, are you that desperate? But if you're looking at a Sydney Sweeney,
you giving up everything. You saying you giving up government secrets at that point.
Especially if you're think about it, DA. If you're 1 or 2, and you're an employee in the government, you're like. That's a 7 to 10. You're gonna be like, come on.
You're giving it all up.
Call me old-fashioned, but I figured on first dates the best thing to do is just lie to them. Why are they actually telling the truth? That's the worst part. Just lie to them.
Yeah, because they're trying to puff up their. Just a little suspicious. It is. But you can think about it, though. It's because they want to puff themselves up for the girl to go, look how much power I have. Look what I'm telling Musk and the Trump, the president of the United States, to fuck themselves behind their back. They think they're like these little gods. You're like, dude.
And you know what? I'm sure the girls who are on those dates are good actresses. Like, they're probably playing the part up really well. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So no, they got these guys eating out of their hands, man. And they're just giving up everything. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, it is crazy. Okay, Mark Daly for $5. Oh, rest in peace, James Bond.
Yep.
Pour one out for 007, 63 years, 24 movies, countless villains vanquished and ladies seduced, all with style. Nobody did it better. You know what, Mark Daly, you said it best. I just shared that, funny enough, in the woke monologues, which I'll keep pushing because I want it to go big. I have a line where I'm like, then the sensitivity readers came in and they, to protect everybody from critically thinking. They didn't want you to hurt yourself. And the first thing they did is they started rewriting James Bond. He went from, a spy to a man with a 30-day AA chip who cried after every kill and hated having sex. And that's pretty much what they're doing now. I mean,
dude, I gave up on James Bond after Skyfall, man. I just, you know what? I don't know if James Bond, the character, has a place in this day and age anymore. I think, and it's hard to hear that, right? It's hard to even say it, but I think that type of hero, they're not going to give us that kind of hero anymore. They're not going to give us the smooth, smoking, drinking, late, womanizing, hero. We're not going to get that guy anymore, unfortunately, man, because we live in these soft, pussy times, right? And they want all young men to grow up, to be in touch with their feminine side and all this bullshit. So we're never going to get a real James Bond again. So they might as well just kill it off.
Yep. Here's my thing with this, and this is somebody who's kind of an outsider. I'm not a big Bond fan, only seen a few of the films, didn't grow up with it, but I've noticed, because I started getting leaks during No Time to Die and we were reporting on it. I didn't understand the stuff I was reporting. I just passed it on to Andre, and he would use it as he would. But I'm starting to wonder at this point, because I get the doom and gloom that's going on around this, and I totally understand, and it is valid. But maybe I'm looking at this from a different perspective because I'm not a Bond fan. I see this as a possible positive, at least a positive that you haven't had in a while. Because I'm looking at it as, wasn't Barbara Broccoli part of the problem in the room? Because she was the one who always wanted like a trans Bond or a black Bond or a woman Bond or this. Yeah,
but you think Bezos is any better?
No, I'm not going to disagree with you there. But here's the thing. He's been rubbing shoulders with Trump and those Bob Iger has been too, and some of these other, upper people in Hollywood have been. He bought MGM a couple of years back, and I have a feeling he ran into the same thing he did with Lord of the Rings, where when he bought the Lord of the Rings thing, where he finally realized, wait a minute, I didn't buy the rights to the shit I thought I bought the rights to, right? So when he bought MGM, he probably thought Bond was coming with the package, and then he slowly realized, wait a minute, we don't own Bond. We just have the distribution rights. Right. So now he slapped $1 billion down on the table to get Barbara Broccoli out of the room. And I see that as a possible
money
positive.
well spent.
Because because Greg knows where I'm going, because she is one of the problems with this situation. And I don't know why everybody's freaking out about it. It's like, she's the one who's wanted a black Bond or a woman Bond for years. In fact, she's the one who's probably been getting in the way of Henry Cavill and Aaron Taylor Johnson or any of these other people that have been brought up. And that tells me that's probably what happened here. Now, I'm speculating, but why else would you do this? Because he bought these, only got the distribution rights, didn't have the rights to anything else. So they finally pay out $1 billion, which is actually a pretty damn good deal.
Okay.
Because they don't own it outright. Eon still has some ownership, but now Amazon has complete control. So now they can actually get something done. The first thing Bezos did was ask who everybody wanted as James Bond, and he got bombarded with Henry Cavill. So
I don't think that's going to do the right thing, though, man.
I'm just saying. Let me finish my point. I think we're at a point now where before you had maybe a 1-2% chance of Bond being Henry Cavill, let alone maybe less than a 50% chance of Bond being white and male. Now your chances of Bond being Henry Cavill just went up to about 30 to 40%.
I would love it if it was. I would love it if you're.
Cavill needs to be Bond. He needs to be Bond. He was almost born to play the role. My fear is they're going to go like Marvel Cinematic Universe with James Bond, and they're just going to start spinoffs.
That's probably the worst thing.
Yeah, a glut of nonsensical content, and they're just going to try to milk this thing for all it's worth. So we're going to get the Money Penny show. We're going to get a Q spinoff. We're going to get a Felix Leiter show, and we're going to get James Bond. We're just going to get all kinds of crap. Because Amazon is like, yo, let's just go all the way with it and let's push as much Bond content out there as possible. We're going to get spinoff shows. We're going to get, a lot of movies. And that's what I'm afraid of.
You're having I'm having a little difficulty hearing you. Sorry, DA.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just saying, if they give us one movie every couple of years with Henry Cavill and that's it, great. but I'm thinking they're just going to go like full.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Okay, let me jump out and come back in.
Okay, you're breaking up.
Really...
All right, so Mark Daly for another. Whoa, where did the other one go? That was the.
And I
second
could
part.
be completely wrong. This could be a disaster, but otherwise, I don't understand why they would spend $1 billion to get rid of Barbara Broccoli.
Bezos has paid him off clearly.
No, you have actually a point. You make a very logical point. It could be a sign of hope. We'll see. Mark Daly's part 2 for $5. So which is Amazon going to pick to play Bond? Timothy Chalamet, Cynthia Erivo, or Dylan Mulvaney? Oh, I hope they go with Cavill. I hope that was real, not just some PR stunt that Bezos did that Tom was talking about. Yeah. Otherwise,
one of Bezos' close friends is another actor called Armie Hammer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he potentially gets at least a audition for it.
The cannibal?
Yeah.
Oh my, we don't need a
I think he has too much baggage attached to him, but I see what you're saying, Gregory.
And he's doing the Dark Knight. Uwe Boll. He's doing the Uwe Boll movie, Dark Knight. Y'all didn't hear about that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
which I know they're going to have to change the title of. There's no way they're going to be able to keep that.
Also,
he's just doing it for...
Why are they still letting Uwe Boll make movies?
I don't know.
Because he can do it for $1.50.
Well, not only that, when people criticize him, he gets in the boxing ring and belts them. I don't know if you've seen him when Snyder had to go.
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
I got to see that.
Snyder criticized his move, and he says, I'll get in the boxing ring. So he's like, all right, let's do it then, thinking nothing happened, and he got the living crap beat out of him.
Really?
Yeah, because he knows enough people hate him that they'll take him up on that offer.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's the Phobos, my brother from another mother, member for 4 months. 3 billion in seized crypto is missing from the Fed government. I know. What about the 4.7? I will say this again. $4.7 trillion that they do not know where it was spent. It was just in the Treasury Department. TAS was the accounting term they had to it. Musk is like, we're going to find that, but we don't know where the hell it went, who the hell spent it, how they did it. Thank you, Phobos. And then, hey, I gifted everybody 5 memberships. Okay.
Oh, good on you, George.
And then Oliver Lavery Farage for 10 pounds. I also gave up with Bond after Skyfall. Me too. The most emotional part was when the car died. Bond died after Casino Royale, which is fitting as it was the last of the original source material. You know, why can't they just stick with the books? The originals, not the sanitized ones for your soul, sensitive souls. Just Ian Fleming at his best. Anyway, so we had talked. Whoa, do we have another one? Skull Eater. We had a great member stream yesterday. Skull Eater 2016 for $10. Top military leaders fired. The MSN outrage. In other news, U.S. Army loses 151 OD, $225 million on money to feed the troops. Fired. Jail time. I think anybody who misappropriates funds like that, jail time.
Well, that's all they've been doing forever, right? And that's what I can't stand when people are like freaking out over stuff. It's like you're literally shooting the messenger when you're pissing and moaning about Elon Musk. And they're like, oh, but he's just doing it all for the rich people. It's like, is he?
Really?
Is he really?
Yeah. It's insane. But thank you for that. Now we talked about Black Panther for a second. Oh, we got Blitzen earlier, but thank you again, Blitzen, for gifting the 10 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Everybody, please thank Blitzen. We mentioned Black Panther a second ago when we were talking about, movie drops and stuff. Well, Angela Bassett has come back because she has not forgotten 2 years later that she did not win the Oscar for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Angela Bassett says, I was deserving of the Oscar for Black Panther 2. After I put in the time and good work, I thought it was a given. I was talking to a good friend of mine last night, another brother, and I was like, have you ever heard of an actor ever say they deserved an Oscar that they didn't get? Dante, have you ever in your life heard this?
You know what, man? I haven't. And
I thought she had class.
I read the whole article. I get what she was trying to say. And on some level, yeah, I respect it. It's like, hey, you know what? I felt like I was good enough to win. Right? Now, right. But to say you deserve it, that's a whole nother level of crazy to me. It's like, to say that you put in the good work and you thought you would win is one thing, right? Mm-hmm. That's legit, right? Yeah. But to say you deserved it is like, yeah, but you were competing against like 5 other women who deserved it. So,
but she was more deserving, in her
But I
eyes.
always viewed her with a level of class, Angela Bassett. Like, just, you know what I mean? She radiated
Me
that.
too. And I mean, I don't know if she said something the wrong way, but yeah, I feel like this is coming off as very egotistical.
And even Brando, who pulled shit, never said that. He might have
Well,
told
Brando didn't even show up for his Godfather
Yeah, he didn't
one.
show up. That guy.
No, I know.
Yeah,
He didn't, but he said fuck yous, but he never said, I don't know, that deserve just.
I deserve this Oscar because it's a man.
Well, okay, let's look at Roger Deakins for instance. He was nominated 14 times before he got one. Not once did he ever say he deserved it. When he was asked about it, he's just like, "If I get it, I get it. I care about my craft." That's all he
It's
cared.
stupid because the old saying is it's just an honor to be nominated, right?
Right.
And this
Yeah.
woman has been nominated multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she hasn't won yet, but guess what? In a world where just a few years ago they were saying Oscars were so white, and I reminded them that you are the voters, not us. It's not the People's Choice Awards. You
Right.
and your peers are your voters. So who are you calling racist? You are the ones you're calling racist. And now here again, you have Angela Bassett basically blaming all her peers for not giving her this award that she felt she was owed in some way, shape, or form. Especially for Black fucking Panther 2.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
normally these movies don't even get nominated. That was
look,
the
look,
point.
look at a guy like Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, how many times has he been nominated? Right?
4 or 5?
I mean, quite a bit. And the guy, he still hasn't won, right? Or did he win?
I don't think he's won. Did he win for The Aviator?
Once upon a
I thought it was The Revenant or
didn't
whatever
win-
it was he won
didn't win
for.
Best, no,
Wasn't it The
I
Revenant?
he won, right?
Revenant.
I thought it was The Revenant, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Revenant. He won for the Revenant. That's what it was.
But the thing though is there's a lot of people who get a lot of nominations who never win, and unfortunately that's just a lot of life, man.
And out of thousands of actors, only a
how long
few
does
dozen
Glenn
are ever going to
Close
get
award?
nominated. Sorry, Verbal.
No, I was gonna say, look how long it took Glenn Close to get an award.
Yeah.
Don't you remember I don't know if anybody remembers it or the clip is still around. I think it was Sally Field who, when she finally got it, didn't she say, "I didn't realize you all loved me"? It was that famous Oscar.
Oh
Yeah, you love me. Right now, you really love
like me. Not
Yeah.
love me.
Yeah,
like
you like
me.
me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Like me, love me. Well, she said something.
I don't know
like
what
that.
to say, but all I know is right now you like me. You really, really like me, I believe is the actual quote. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
it so many fucking times.
It was just, people just don't win.
Also, she wasn't even nominated for Black Panther 2.
No, but of all movies to bitch about, Black Panther 2.
Yeah,
come
no,
on.
that's the weird one. Like I could understand if she said Tina Turner, right? What's love?
Yeah,
Got to
that
Lose,
was
right?
great.
I would say, yeah, she deserved that Oscar.
Especially
man.
looking back in hindsight, when everybody else has already said it, then you can say, "Oh yeah, I think I did my best work there." But it's not up to me alone, and you got to be humble about it. Regardless if you think that, you could think it in your brain, you could say it to your closest friends. You don't say it in the public.
Right.
It's
No.
because again, like I said, there's how many thousands of actors that never, ever, ever get nominated for anything ever, right? But it's just those few dozen that we always hear about. Angela Bassett just happens to be in that group. She should be happy of just being amongst the group of people that have.
Also, she would have been going up against Michelle Yeoh, and there was no way in the world that Michelle Yeoh wasn't winning that year.
Yeah, that was just
that was the other thing too. Maybe that's what pissed her off.
Even though
But again, we're talking about Black Panther 2. She did not deserve an Oscar for Black Panther 2.
Come on, that would be a joke to give a Oscar. Yeah, no.
The first movie didn't even deserve to get nominated for Best Picture. They only did it as a cultural thing. It was like, what are you
because that was
doing
during the
here?
height of Oscars So White, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Because like even Dark Knight is still one of the only comic book movies I can think of that you can look at and go, yeah, that's an Oscar caliber comic book film.
Yeah,
I can
easily.
maybe pull out not even a handful, right? Like,
And the only reason he got nominated is because they did the extension of the extra 3 movies to put in for Best Picture that year.
because everybody
as well.
wanted it nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Man of War is reminding me that Bassett was up against for supporting actress against Jamie Lee Curtis's role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, it was Curtis that she was up against. So, wow. It shows.
Yeah, it was
you
for a
being
supporting role, and from my understanding,
Oh,
'cause I
sorry.
didn't
The
even
way
watch
she was
it,
talking, I thought she was the lead. Sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah, no, right? And she's not even. I was just gonna say because my understanding is she's not even in the movie all that much, is she?
No,
She gets killed off at the 22-minute mark.
Yeah, and she's hardly in the film.
So she's
So
not
it's a
even in the
bit-
movie as long as like, yeah,
Really weird hill to die on.
Kills her like pretty early on.
Really weird hill to die on.
Remember, she drowns in the skyscraper on the top floor.
No, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You get to miss a lot.
Anyway, as we move forward, R.I.P. Star Wars, entire season of Skeleton Crew. No shows Nielsen. It did not make one chart. Now, this I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised because everybody that I've spoken to, I have not seen it. Everybody said they enjoyed it. It was made for kids. So because I haven't seen it, who's seen it here?
I have not.
You have.
I have no.
No, I'm a straight male.
So nobody. Oh man, I think DA watched it, didn't he?
DA watched it. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be back.
Yeah, Angry Badger, I think, was the one who also said it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, most people I know have said that it's decent enough. I mean, there's only been a few people who really dug into it hardcore.
Yeah, but the bar is so low now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But to not have a star, I mean, if you were talking to yourself, your 20-year-old self, would your 20-year-old self believe that anything Star Wars branded would never hit a Nielsen rating? Like, would you believe it? You'd be like, why are you lying to me? Like,
you know, it's
20-year-old me wouldn't believe that there would be a flop in Star Wars.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was a world where I lived in where I thought the worst we were ever going to experience was the Ewok movies. Right?
It's just,
dude, that's in the top 10 now. That's how bad that's how bad everyone's gotten.
Yeah, that's even quaint in comparison to some of the Disney shit. So, like, at the end of the day, is this probably the worst thing ever? Probably not. But what difference does it make? It's kind of like we were talking earlier with comic book movies. They have killed the franchise.
Right.
Star Wars
is done.
Yeah.
So it needs about 10 years. So since we're talking about Star Wars, I'm going to end the Star Wars segment with this little clip that I showed the other day on the member stream, and I'll just cut it out of this stream after we're done because I know YouTube will hit me for it. But I thought it was interesting, and I'll stop it and start it so it won't be so they don't shut the stream down. But someone did an AI of a Star Wars crossover. I thought it was pretty interesting.
I'll be back.
War rages across the galaxy. And the Empire rises again. Today, we unleash our new clone army. There's only one man who can take them down. Schwarzenegger is back.
I thought that was
cool. The Star Wars now.
Yeah, there you go. You always have that perfect Schwarzenegger.
Hey, you know what? I'd watch it.
You watch? Yeah, I mean, wait for it.
On Tatooine has been holding our last God of War.
Why is Mace Windu back all of a sudden?
That's not Mace, it's his brother.
Jace.
It's his brother.
Yeah, that's Chase Windu. It's his brother. Yeah, little brother.
Yeah, Chase Windu.
And he didn't come alone.
Who the hell are you?
They destroyed everything he loved.
I told you I'll be back and back.
That's a horrible honor.
Yeah, you do an incredible honor.
I told you I'd be back.
Yeah, they didn't do it well.
What's wrong with your face? It's all
honestly,
fuzzy.
I would watch this movie.
This looks better than anything we got from Star Wars in the last 20, 15 years.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it is kind of interesting.
Star Wars crossed with Commando. I'm in.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe even Predator. You know, he's good at hunting aliens. So.
Yep.
Oh, he actually looks good in a black suit there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Jedi now.
Why don't you ask my Wookiee?
Oh, I'm in, man. Make this movie.
Yeah, make it.
God, AI is getting so good.
It's getting scary.
But it has that plastic feel to me.
It does. There's still stuff that's off about it, but
I don't know what else to call
give
it.
it 2 more years, man. Give it 2 more years.
Give it 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks.
Dude, I'm more excited about this than I've been about any Star Wars for like the past
seriously
10 years, dude.
Wow.
You can't even kill the performance. I bet you're dead tired.
Performance.
This summer, Prepare yourself for the motion picture event.
I love how all the chicks are in bikinis.
What is it?
All the chicks are in bikinis.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Well, where else would they be on Hoth? It makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a funny scene.
Are those fucking Ugnaughts?
What is it?
Are those Ugnaughts or what the hell were they?
I don't know what they are.
Next, we all better pick up the pace.
Oh God.
We know she dies though.
Doesn't need the Force. The Force needs him.
Nice.
It's great.
A toast to censorship and tyranny.
Oh, the Empire done fucked up now.
Dude, give me this movie.
I want this in Blaxploitation Lando like tomorrow.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Wow.
Star Wars 4?
Yeah.
It's called Star Wars 4.
I like how they also call it Willard Smith.
Willard Smith. I had to share that with y'all.
George, I've got to get the little one ready, so I'll be back in a little bit, depending on how long you guys
Okay.
go for.
No problem. Thank you for coming, my friend. We'll look forward to you coming back.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I like that. So Verbal's on board. We got to let them this individual
Dude,
know
that movie, man.
he's got to make it. Oh, yeah.
That's a day one right there.
Dark Hierophant for $2. Star Wars was losing its pants and finally lost them, as only Dark Hierophant could put it. Perfect. That's a chef's kiss. Thank you. Magnum North for $5. Get to the chopper. I can't do it like Tom. Tom can do it better. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the dicer too.
I love it. Ben Dowdy, member for a month. Oh, hi, folks. How you doing, Ben? Great to see you. Where did DA go to?
You got a full system reboot.
Oh, ouch. All righty then. So we're moving right along. Where is this? Hold on one second. So have you seen anything worthwhile lately, either of you?
I've been
not really.
I've been looking forward to the new season of 1923. I just haven't got a chance to watch the new episode yet. I saw you had it in the title.
Yeah,
it dropped today, didn't it? Or late last night or whatever.
I think it was last night it dropped. It might have dropped earlier, but I watched it. I have one problem. Cool. I'm glad we could talk about it. I liked 1923, except for have you seen that, DA? Verbal?
I just saw the first season too.
So you never seen any 1923?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the prequel of Yellowstone, 1883, 1920.
Oh, okay, got it.
And it has Harrison Ford and Ellen Mirren in it. And it's beautifully well done. I enjoy it, except for what problem is there's out of nowhere that there's this Indian storyline in it, which to me is just basically pull out your soapbox, white man bad, Indian good.
That was through the whole first season too, which I mean, it's not inaccurate. That shit did happen, but yeah.
I know, but you could do that really quickly instead of just dragging it out. Well, it's back in this season, but that's actually not my biggest problem. Okay, that's part of history. Cool.
Well, you do realize that that's because that's the parent of the character from Yellowstone. Yeah, so that's why it's going to be the legacy of those two characters, especially if you've seen the end of the show now. You kind of really probably know where it's going to end up going because
I didn't see
that's
the
going to
end of the
set
show.
up. Yeah, because it's going to set up the whole idea of that they said that their family would have the land back in so many generations or whatever. So like, yeah, if you see the end of the show, you'll see where it all is kind of leading to, and that's why her character is technically important to the show. But I see what you're saying. If anything, they should have just gave her own show to where if we didn't want to see it, then we didn't have to watch it.
Well, I don't have a problem with showing it historically. It's just that it felt more like I was being lectured the entire time, which I
right.
And again, that just to put it in context, that did not bug me as much as what they did in season 2. In the first episode, okay, so the whole first season.
Yeah, you might have to explain to Verbal real quick.
I'm going to explain it real quick. Okay, so you got Harrison Ford, Ellen Mirren, the Duttons, Yellowstone Ranch, 1923, how they're still fighting for it, building it, all that stuff. Okay. Bring in a bad guy who's the main villain, wants to fuck up all their shit. They got to fight him back. One of their sons after World War I is recovering in Africa as like a lion hunter. Safari. He gets a letter from his mama after he falls in love and gets married with this woman who's like, we need you back home in Montana. We're surrounded, enemies everywhere. So the entire first season after this son of the Duttons falls in love, get married, they're spending the entire season with him trying to get on a boat, get his way to the U.S. So I figured we would start season 2. They're in the U.S. and they're headed to Montana, but the fucker is still on a boat. And I'm like, so I feel like it's going to be the entire season where at the end of it, he's going to finally show up. And it's 2 seasons with the dude traveling. Do you know what I'm talking about? That feels like bad writing to me. Does that make sense? To draw out a storyline like that?
I mean, because I haven't seen it, I can't really comment on that.
But to you forget the name of a show. You want to show a character, you want to bring him in, and you have everything going on around you in one part of the world, and B character has to travel there. But instead of actually getting there, you just keep showing his journey there. It's like
I think it's because there's so much going on in the Interium in the meantime, and they're also trying to show how long it took for him to get there.
I know.
So I get what you're saying, but yeah, like
boring. It's like, get it there already. I want to get the shit done. Anyway, so
how many episodes per season?
Was it 10, Tom? The first
I think
season?
it's 10, yeah.
10.
Oh, then yeah, something like that. You got to speed along, man. It's like these aren't the old days when you had 24 episodes to tell a story. It's like, you got 10 episodes. You got to keep that pace, man.
No, it's constant. And that's the thing is, it's
I
like
haven't seen the new one yet, so I can't comment on it. But yeah,
I'm gonna tell you it's the same thing. Still on a fucking boat.
You know what? I think now we need to get to a happy medium of just standard being 15 episodes, right?
I agree.
It's not 24 episodes, but it's not 10. That way you have enough time to tell a decent story, and it still doesn't feel too long. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was saying because I remember reading somewhere that it took him over like a year to get there, or whatever it is.
I know, but we waited 2 years for. See, this is the problem. It's not like
that's the other problem. Was the gap in between didn't help? Yeah.
See, there you go. It's not like it used to be in the old days. When I was growing up, a show would end. I was just talking about this with Men and More. A show would end, and 2 months later, you'd have the next season. Now it's 2 years later. So, okay, we watched him the first season. He's traveling. 2 years later, he's traveling still. It's like, what? I'm gonna grow fucking old by the time he actually.
Yeah, no, that's a problem, man. Like these years long waits for a series to come back. Mm-hmm. I think they're starting to realize they can't do that anymore, and I think they're starting to sharpen up a little bit.
They need to get back to a regular seasons. Yeah,
it needs to get back to regular seasons. I think 15 episodes a season is decent. I think that's a good amount of episodes. And then while that's happening, you're immediately filming the next season. They got to be a little bit better with this, man.
Yeah, Gabby in the chat, she's saying that actually season 1 was 8 episodes, season 2 is 7, so it's not even 10. Yeah, okay.
Wow,
thank you for that, Gabby. Yeah, it just, and again, I love a lot of the show. That's why I watch it. I also saw Reacher's first 3 episodes. Did y'all check those out?
You know what? I haven't seen Reacher at all yet. Like it's I haven't started the show. I mean, I'm planning on starting it this week actually, but I've heard good things about it. Besides the fact that Alan Richardson is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, no, I love season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good things. So
I just started watching season 3. Raging Rhino. Right now, the problem is they can't even seem to fill 10 episodes with a good, compelling story. Imagine the amount of filler if they did 15.
Hey, Rhino.
How you doing, my friend? Yeah,
I think there's a way to do it, man. I think, look, not all fillers are bad. Okay, let me put that out there. Not all filler episodes are bad. You could throw a filler in there if it's a good story to tell in between something. But I think 15 is a solid number. It's not 24 when there's tons of filler episodes because you got no choice, right? I think 15. Okay, let's say 13 to 15 should be like kind of standard.
What about this new Daredevil? Isn't it supposed to be 20 episodes? The new Daredevil?
I think it's 18, but yeah, like it is more like a traditional show, it seems like.
Okay.
So, I mean, I agree though. I mean, like, I don't necessarily think we need to go back to the 24 episode schedule.
No.
But I mean, a season would be nice, or like half season shows is fine, but have a season, have a set schedule where you come back so the audience knows. And that's where I think a lot of problems some of these shows are having with finding audiences. Because at least back in the day, we knew when the new shows were on.
Yeah.
Right? We knew come September, the new fall season would start. We knew come January, the mid-season would start. And we knew that during the summer, if there was new shows in the summer, it was just whatever replacements they would come up with to try and test here and there. Otherwise, we all knew the schedule of our shows usually. Nothing would get in the way of them unless it was a strike or something like that.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden you got to wait 2 years for in between shows, 3 years in some cases. It's crazy.
Right.
What about House
that
of
was the
Dragon?
norm, right? Because I mean, you had shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm when, they came back when they came back. It could be 2 years from now, it could be 4 years from now. But the norm was having a schedule, man, and you knew exactly what was coming that season, and it was like clockwork. And they kind of have to get back to that.
Yeah, and honestly, this streaming model we have is kind of based on what you just brought up, Verbal, like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like that's kind of what it felt like to me, was like the prestige television that HBO and Showtime used to do, because they never were full length huge seasons. They were usually only like 10 episodes or whatever, like Weeds and Entourage, like you brought up earlier,
Sopranos, Deadwood.
Sopranos,
and they came back when they came back.
And they exactly. They came back when they came back. But even HBO then still technically had somewhat of a schedule, right? Like a lot of those times if they had to deviate, it was because certain stars and actors, they couldn't maybe work around a schedule or something like that. But it felt like it was a little more set in stone than it is now, right? You knew you could at least expect the new season of Entourage coming at some point there. But then cable did the similar things where you started having shows just start on random seasons, and then now, like in streaming, there is no schedule, and this has completely destroyed the pilot episode. I know Paul Chatto and Script Doctor have talked about it many times, where they used to be like a whole industry basically built on every year they would have to make all these pilot episodes, and then only a handful of those would end up being brought to show, but every year you still had to make these pilots, right? So
that was pilot season.
Yeah, they don't do them anymore.
Yeah.
They don't make pilots. These streaming shows, they go direct to, and this is why a lot of these shows suck. And I've said this before too. It's because at least back in the day, like now, there's no chance you can have a Steve Urkel happen. Right? Because for those who may not remember, Family Matters wasn't the Steve Urkel show until about 6-7 episodes in. Originally, it was just Carl Winslow and his family, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, this neighbor kid shows up in one episode, and it was supposed to be a one-off. And people loved it so much.
Right.
It became his show.
It became his show. So like that wouldn't happen now, because you'd have already shot that entire season. Everything's done and in the can, and you'd have to go back and reshoot it all if anything changed. And they ain't going to do that now. And that's the problem with a lot of these shows. They can't react to anything. They can't, so it's good in some cases, but bad in others. So yeah.
By the way, there were so many shows like that where, it started out as one thing, then one character pops up and it just becomes their show.
Of course.
Or a storyline or a love interest or something like that.
Exactly. Crazy like that, man. Like I almost want to do a whole show like just based on that. Just like where a show started out as one thing, and because of one character, it became a completely different show.
Yeah, I agree. Justin Martins for $10. Where do you guys stand on the theory that the Empire were the good guys the whole time?
No, they were not. They were bad. In the original George Lucas Star Wars, they were bad. They were tyrants. Vader. They all wanted to conquer the universe, that kind of thing. We made it stupid later on. We tried to complicate things like, hey, well, maybe the Jedis are the bad guys. No, fuck all that.
That was only
they're taking one character in Vader. Yeah, they're taking one character in Vader who does have a complicated background, and they're confusing that with the entire Empire, which is like the Nazis. It's like, no, that's a little different.
It's the Harry Beaver. It's Leslie Headland. It's people like that who try to make the Jedi as the bad guys.
And then the stormtroopers against their will, so they're not really bad guys. Get the fuck out of here.
I agree, 100%, 100%. Whoa, Pilgrim Media for $2. Your thoughts on season 2 of Silo? I just started it. I will let you know probably Wednesday or next Sunday. I love the first season, and I just started season 2. But Pilgrim Media, I put it here. I will remember, and I will.
Is that Apple Plus show?
Yep. It's Apple Plus. It's really good. It's just like the Gorge. I enjoyed it. Couple elements I didn't like, but overall, good popcorn flick. Good mystery, especially the first hour. It's really solid. It's got Anna Taylor-Joy in it, and I always forget his fucking name. The guy from Maverick, who in Top Gun, the one who played the one who plays Goose's son.
Miles Taylor.
Miles Taylor, is that his? Miles Taylor. He just looks so. Yeah, it's the one who's also did the drumming movie.
I think that's Miles Teller. Yeah,
I think it's
I think so.
Miles Teller. Yeah,
he was in the
Drumline or whatever.
Yes, he sucked.
Or not Drumline. I mean, the one.
Drumline was Nick Cannon.
I know. The movie I'm thinking of. It's got J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller. What the hell's the name of it?
Oh yeah,
the drum movie. I don't know. It's
the drum. Yeah, the drum movie. I'm trying to think of the damn name of it. Whiplash. Jesus Christ. Yes.
Whiplash.
Talk about a brain fart.
I was thinking. Yeah.
So it's pretty good with Anna Taylor-Joy, and I saw her in Queen's Gambit. I think
I like her a lot, man. I do like her.
She has, and I also saw her in the streaming series, the gangsters in England in the 20s, the 30s, the bootleggers. Oh fuck! Today is one of those days. I've been so focused on working on the video on the film that my Peaky Blinders.
Oh, she was in that.
Yeah, she was in the sixth season? This season? Yeah. She was in it. Magnum Norris for $5. Screw your freedom. I'm the Terminator of First Amendment while I rail the help. Yeah. You nailed it, Magnum. You gave it to Arnold the right way. You called him out perfectly. Thank you for that. So now, I also had this other piece of news that popped up today. Where did your ass go? Oh, here it is. There we go. Because we talked about on Wednesday how the Constantine 2 is coming back, and I know they've been saying this for a decade plus, but now there's another report. Constantine 2 has been pitched to James Gunn, reveals Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves confirms Constantine 2 has been pitched to DC Studios and is ready to move forward to the script stage. What do you think about that? I'm looking forward to Constantine too.
You know what? Here's the thing. I love Constantine as a character. He's always been one of my favorites from DC and from Vertigo, I should say. I liked the first movie with Keanu Reeves. But here's the thing. I don't consider it really Constantine, but it was a good movie, right? So I can almost separate the comic version from this version.
It's the screen version of Constantine. It's not the comic. Blonde hair, pink. Yeah.
Well, we did have a screen version. I mean, he was on TV, but as far as Keanu Reeves, we priced in the role, man. Like honestly, if the story's good, I'm all for it.
I like Keanu.
My question though is James Gunn really going to go through with it? Because it doesn't seem like it fits in his
DC
in his universe. You know what I mean?
But
I think it's because it's going to be in the alternate DC label or whatever, like the back.
Are they still doing that?
Elseworlds?
Yeah. And I'm starting to wonder if it doesn't matter if he wants it or not, because like I've been saying this for a while, because it seems like this got, because you're right, they've been bringing it up for a while, but it seems like this got momentum right around the same time The Matrix came out. And I'm starting to wonder if Keanu Reeves didn't make a deal with Warner Brothers that he gets to do Constantine 2 if he does The Matrix.
Yeah, Monkey. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you were right. I saw somebody in the chat, and I'm like, you're right about Cosmic Book News, but it's out in multiple sites. World of Real,
Keanu has said this. The director has said it.
Yeah.
This has been something that's been taught. In fact, they just released the 4K Blu-ray this week, and that's no surprise. I was saying that I have a feeling they're going to see how the Blu-ray sells, and then if it sells well, then they'll go forward with it. If it not, then they won't. And they got their meeting with James Gunn this week. That sounds like it went forward. So
Keanu Reeves has wanted it for almost.
Yes,
he's wanted it. He said that there's even been talks of him wanting. They want him to return for the next Matrix, which I still can't believe they're fucking.
Oh, please stop!
They are. There is. It's 5.
Well, and if he's smart, he'll use this as a bargaining chip if he hasn't already. That was my point. Yeah.
And it's the fact that he wants to do it so bad. That's why I'm for this. Because he wants it. You know what I mean? It's like he's not being dragged into it. They're not trying to seduce him with a truckload of money. He really wants to do it, and because of that, I'm kind of like, okay, well, if he really wants it, then I'm sure he's not going to sign on for some bullshit.
No. He said 4 years ago, he said that what he really loved about Constantine that he wanted to bring to the screen was the war between heaven and hell from Hellblazer. He wanted to bring that story specifically. I don't know what that story is, but that's what
it's clear he's wanted to do this for a while. And I got the 4K anniversary of the first
It's
film.
out?
Yeah, and they have the making or interview on there with him and the director and Akiva Goldsman. And I have never in my life seen Keanu Reeves so animated and so giddy like a little kid talking about something. I've seen him interviewed about, everything from, Bill and Ted to The Matrix to John Wick. And I've never seen him so gushing over a property as he was this. So he clearly loves this. This is something that has been a passion project for him. If he's going to cash all his chips in to do this, then so be it. The first film's solid as hell. Now, again, I'm not as familiar with the original comic. I know of it. I know, aspects of it, but I don't know how much it deviates outside of the obvious.
I mean,
that being said,
it's a solid Constantine story, to be honest.
It is. He's just not blonde, and that's pretty much.
That's really kind of it. Yeah.
He doesn't look like Sting, which
he's not blonde and he's not bi and British. Yeah.
But the characters are like Gabriel, all that's all from the comics. So I mean, they stay pretty true to it outside of the way he looked. That's it.
Now, here's the thing that I found interesting is that only because we're talking about Keanu Reeves, and when you think of Keanu Reeves lately, outside of Constantine, you think of Chad Stahelski because of John Wick, right? Well, Chad Stahelski, I can't say his damn bloody name. Chad Stahelski this week announced a film based off of a comic. I'm not based off of a video game that I had never heard of. Hold on, I got it here.
What's up, everybody?
He's
Sorry.
back in high definition. Hey.
There we go. We were just talking about Constantine 2 and how it's being pitched that Keanu Reeves shared this week. That's being pitched to James Gunn to do it for DC. What do you think?
Look, man, the first Constantine was great. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. James Gunn honestly needs to just kind of settle down. I hope he's not taking a lot of random ideas and he's really has a game plan of what he wants to do with his universe, because you're not going to be able to just throw, shit at the wall and see what sticks. You're going to have to plan this thing out slowly, carefully, movie by movie, TV show by TV show, and hopefully, at the end of it, listen, I'm a DC fan before a Marvel fan. I like Marvel and DC, but I'm DC more. I want James Gunn to nail this thing. I want to get to the Marvel Cinematic Universe level for the DC universe. So hopefully he can get there. But yeah, I just don't want to see a lot of random projects coming out. Like I think first project is Superman. His next one, the movie is Supergirl.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's Clayface.
I thought it was Authority. Is it?
Well, I heard that Clayface has a writer, director, and they're so they're green lighting. It's Mike Flanagan, who I like. I like Mike Flanagan. He's a really, really good director and storyteller. But Clayface, is that the third movie in DC?
How do you sell that?
I don't know. That's the rumor anyway. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that's the scuttlebutt. So, we'll see. But yeah, I hope that. Look, man, DC has never been able to get this thing going. Unfortunately, even though I like some of the stuff that came in the Snyderverse, it's just it's not cohesive. We don't have a really good, all the stories, everything they did, it's just random stuff. So yeah, if Constantine fits within James Gunn's plans, all right, great. Let's do it.
I'm all for it. We have Julie Y for $10. Constantine with the Angels rubs me wrong. Angel Studio could do well with Warrior Angels, superhero style. St. Michael has been my champion and would like to see him done right. Hell, yeah, I'm with you, Michael. Always. St. Michael. Beautiful. Thank you for sending that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Julie. Why? Now, Chad Stahelski, as I was talking about this week, the director of John Wick, he's bringing this movie for Netflix to life off of a game called Sifu, where the character is like a martial artist. And he's going to revenge his teacher, but every time he finds a magic talisman and he dies, he gets to come back to life, but he ages. Have you heard of this game? Anybody heard of this game?
No,
I have not.
But then I looked at his full schedule, so I posted this. So he's doing Highlander with Cavill, Ghost of Tsushima Rainbow Six with Michael Jordan, Black Samurai, Shibumi, and Man from Nowhere. That's a lot for Stahelski. I mean, one guy. I haven't seen.
Yeah, well, I mean, look what John Wick did. John Wick is, a hot property and everybody loves it. So yeah, he's just getting work, which I love because he's a stunt man.
Mm-hmm.
He's, paid his dues, and he seems to understand the action genre right now better than anybody. So I'm all for it. I hope he gets more work.
Good. I like that. Great. Has anybody also, have you checked out Dexter, the new series Dexter?
I haven't. Not since it's come back.
Okay, because they asked Jennifer Carpenter, because it just finished up its finale. They asked Jennifer Carpenter, the Dexter's sister, the actress who played Dexter's sister, if she'll ever come back. And she was like, no, I'm doing my own thing. Because supposedly it's been very successful. It's getting another season. And someone just informed me, it's Fletcher, my great producer, that Daredevil season 2 was just announced already, that it's renewed. I didn't know that.
Already? Well, didn't they write 18 episodes and then they cut the season in half? Isn't that what they did?
I thought it's 18
I heard that's
episodes
what they did.
Okay, I thought it was 18 episodes for season 1. I didn't know they are splitting them.
Yeah, no, this one's going to be 9 episodes. The one that's dropping next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it's next week already. I thought it was
March 4th. Yep, Tuesday.
Wait a minute, it's going to be on March 4th?
Yeah.
That's too funny. That's too funny. It's just because, yeah, it's just that I have like 10 things going on that day. It's just, so Daredevil is dropping that day. You also have Harry and Meghan are dropping their special on that day. Oh, by the way, I know y'all don't care about Harry and Meghan. I cover them because I think they're like the prime example of rotten Hollywood for the culture. But they re-edited her entire quote unquote cooking series. Guess what? With y'all's experience, tell me if you think this sounds like a winner. To show her philanthropic side, how she was during the California wildfires helping people.
Hey, you know what? We wouldn't have got through it without Meghan Markle. Okay? LA owes a debt to her and her ginger cuck.
You know what else is happening March 4, George, right?
Yes. Which?
I put it in the private chat. I don't know if you've heard about this. I don't know how big this is getting, but I started trending the other day on X. Apparently kind of a mass protest that's being, promised to the world, to the United States, anti-Trump, anti-liberty, basically, Antifa. That's basically what's happening. So
there you go.
Yeah. The March for Liberty, 50 states. So apparently everybody's supposed to show up at noon on March 4 to your local state capital or major city, or Washington, D.C. And
didn't they try this a few weeks ago?
Yeah, didn't work.
Yeah. So apparently this is what's happening. So, keep your eyes.
Well, one of them almost turned into another insurrection. Like it was like they were trying to take over, what was it, the Ohio Capitol or some shit?
Whatever, these kooks, they're not gonna stop. I think I want to cover that one. That's just too funny. That's just too funny. Oh my god. Well, you're talking about how the way people are treating people and what they're gonna try. Thank you for that, DA.
No sweat.
That was beautiful. It was yesterday, I believe, this morning. You all heard that Joy Reid lost her show at MSNBC. She got fired. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. Well, Michael Smerconish on CNN had a few issues with Elon Musk and Doge. And just to show how unbiased he is, just take a listen to this for a second.
He's fraud and abuse. And by the way, James, I hope that he is. I don't like the approach, but I like the fact that something's being done. There is no money in the till. We owe $36 trillion. We owe $106,000 each. So whatever the savings ought to be, it's not like President Trump's doing us a favor by giving us 20%. Everything ought to go to the debt because the Peterson people say by 2050, 50% of all revenue is going to go to satisfying interest on the debt. We should be paying the debt. Your response?
My response is this. We should be paying the debt, which is why the Doge dividend incentivizes every American to call out waste, fraud, and abuse, to lower the budget, to narrow the deficit, and to bring down the debt. Where was this emergency over the debt when we sent $350 billion to Ukraine to be wasted? Where was this emergency, Michael, on CNN when you guys were advocating $7,000 to migrants in Chicago? $7,000 a month per migrant, and now we want to spend $5,000 one time from President Trump to hardworking Americans. The migrants didn't deserve $7,000.
Isn't it crazy? Oh, R&B is here.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm late.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Man, you guys are the best.
And many more.
The joke that keeps on giving.
It's beautiful. You get to celebrate your birthday every week. Come on.
Every day.
Every day.
You're on the internet.
When you were a kid, could you ever imagine such an occasion where you had a birthday every day?
No. And you would want one.
He's had so many birthdays, I forgot when his real birthday is.
It's actually May 15th.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I knew I used to know it, but yeah.
Beware the Ides of May.
Just don't eat cake every day, because that's not good for you.
No. Although, yeah, it's what an interesting time we live in.
It is. I never thought I would see, when I was growing up, the Democratic Party was always talking about being against corruption and waste and fraud, and it's odd to me how things switch. It's just odd. Michael Smerconish turns around in this interview and basically starts verbally abusing the gentleman, and he basically threatens to cut off his mic. And I was like, why are you shooting the messengers for this? They're trying to clean up the government.
Well, I think we all know CNN is a joke at this point, man. I mean, all mainstream media for the most part is, but CNN especially, they're barely hanging on at this point. They never recovered from Trump winning again, and they're not going to. People are done.
All legacy media.
Yeah, all legacy media is dying a good, slow, painful death, to be honest with you. And so, yeah, now they're lashing out. So now even when they have guests on, they're lashing out because they're angry that they're probably going to lose their job just like Joy Reid did.
Right. But the only reason they are losing their jobs and is because they have lost the public's trust. So to win it back, they should get back to stating facts. Here is the news.
Well,
let me put a bar between that and my opinion. That's it.
There's a real problem as soon as news became entertainment.
Yeah,
it used to be like CBS when you had people like Walter Cronkite, that was trusted. CBS ran their news division at a loss, and they knew that it wasn't a for-profit news division, and their integrity was sort of their point, and they did everything. But as soon as we had a 24-hour news cycle, and then news became entertainment, it completely changed. And to be honest, I mean, I don't even watch regular news anymore. I watch YouTube. I mean, whether you're watching Joe Rogan, whether you're watching Trigonometry, whether you're watching the Heretics podcast, and there's so many things that I watch where you have online pundits who can talk to people for an hour or two at a time,
right?
And you really drill down into the issues, and you hear some really great analysis, which they can never do on legacy media because they have to get to the next commercial. You get 5-second or 5-minute sound bites, so you never actually get to the real issues. And then, of course, news stories, especially with, say, Trump, are skewed and are edited and in such a way that. And look, as you all know, I'm not the biggest Trump fan.
No, yeah.
But I have to admit that the coverage of Trump was not fair. It was not unbiased. And I think that what's going on now, I don't agree with everything, but cutting the debt, the fact that somebody's coming right out and going, our debt is unsustainable. And that somebody's actually going, this is something that should have happened 25 years ago.
That's why I was saying. But
why do we have a debt? Yeah. It is the thing between our debt, our lack of education, our lack of our military is woefully understaffed, and we don't even have a population of people of military age that would qualify to be in the military because of our horrible food.
Oh yeah, if we had a world war tomorrow, we'd be fucked.
We would be fucked. And on the world stage, it's It's not great. You know, it's not great. It was interesting because Germany had their elections today.
Oh,
and
I know.
the Christian Conservative Party won, and in second place was the AfD, their far right party.
Yeah,
and
but yes, go on. Yeah,
well,
they came in second, was so shocking.
Came in second, and it's like we have to start. Look, Americans have been complacent, and we've taken our entire country for granted for way too long, and things are changing.
Yeah, but it doesn't help that now, you know, even in schools, right? I'm talking like elementary school, preschool, that they're being taught to hate America.
Horrible. I know.
We have a whole generation being taught to hate America,
and that is from outside. That was by design.
Yeah,
you know, there are powerful outside forces. I mean, you look at academia and it's absolutely crazy. But you're absolutely right. I mean, that's been institutionalized, and however we got here, America is still one of the great democracies that has ever existed on this planet. And you know, the AfD are not far right. Well,
I don't think they're. I think they're Germany first. They're kind of like America first, but we might disagree on that one.
Well, and we also have to admit, man, we have. And this isn't me being like super like political, because like I told you guys, I don't have a side, right? Like
you feel homeless. Yeah,
I don't deal with extremes of either side. But I have to say, man, like the more I reflect and think about what's been going on over the past like 10 or 15 years, man, I really have come to believe that the left is detrimentally fucked up, and to the point where they have screwed our country over in ways that we don't even understand or realize, man. You know, this concept of, you know, we talk about the media, right, or the news. How come they're not reporting the facts anymore? How come they're not doing these hard-hitting journalism anymore, right? Because we all accepted this stupid
problem,
this idea of your truth. Once we start accepting your truth, then what is the truth? What is the truth, right? I mean, it's like I can make up anything and say, well, it's my truth, right? So I don't have to believe your facts anymore. And once we kind of accepted this as a country, then that's why we are where we are now. That's why we're divided. That's why we're fucked. That's why you can't have a conversation with somebody and get through to them, because they've accepted their truth, and whatever you're spewing to them or saying to them, you know, the shield is up, because their truth matters more than the facts.
Everything. But see, that's why I love our conversation.
What's interesting, no, just to verbalize point. What's interesting is that when you say you're politically homeless and you really don't have a side, but I think what you're seeing coming from the left is, you know, just straight up communism. Like they're pushing hard in the communistic direction, and because of that, that's why so many people are going like, well, even if I'm not 100% Republican and conservative and aligning with the right, I ain't rocking with that bullshit, because
you're not
that
a commie.
I'm not with. So everybody is starting to filter their way over to more conservative values, because they still make sense. The old school, like Democrats from like 1992 with Clinton, those guys are gone. I don't know where they are, but they need to resurface in the party somehow, because, you know, we used to have, like you were talking about, like the debates that we used to get. I used to watch CNN Crossfire. CNN Crossfire was
that was great.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, you had a conservative.
And
you had exactly, and it was great because you got like sensible people arguing the issues, and everybody kind of made sense. But you kind of say, well, I lean a little bit more with the conservative guy this time, but maybe next time I might lean a little bit to the liberal guy, and that's where the country was at its best. But now that the Democrats and the left, they have co-opted the communism of far leftist Marxists, and they've absolutely destroyed the country. They've destroyed the political, you know, conversations in this country, because if you're not some wild, you know, like if you're just a normal person, now you're Hitler. You know?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like they call you Hitler and they call you a Nazi just because you're like, well, I don't think boys should be playing girl sports. I don't think shit like that don't make sense to me. So can we just get back to some common sense? Where are the common sense Democrats? All right. Those guys are gone and they need to return.
Well, also, you know, the fundamental documents, whether it's the Bill of Rights, our Constitution, even going back further to habeas corpus and things like that, we can all agree that those foundational documents and the fact that we're, you know, a constitutional republic makes this a unique place. And like, whether you like Trump or not, he was duly elected by a majority, both the popular vote and the Electoral College. The Americans spoke, and there was a referendum given, and it's like that happened. Our fellow Americans voted in a free and fair election, and the majority made their voice clear. And what was mandated in that election is what they're doing now. Now, they're moving very fast. They're breaking lots of things. You know, they're doing things that are out of the norm, and they're doing certain things that are worrisome. But on the other hand, they're doing what they were elected to do. So
they didn't lie about it. They said exactly what they were going to do. They didn't say we're going to do one thing and do another. Do you want, I mean, it's like so many people are how many people have seen the 60 Minutes? I've showed it twice. I'm going to show it again. The 60 Minutes report on Germany and speech. Have you seen that one, Robert?
Yeah.
Isn't that terrifying?
No, it is terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to show this one more.
Laughed about that.
Yeah, they're happy.
That's scary, man. That is scary as hell.
Well, but I mean, look, I think though that there is something to be said for protecting slander. You know, we have libel and slander here in this country, and I think it has become you know, our discourse has become so just diminished.
I know it has.
Remember, free speech, as guaranteed by our government, it's not free speech. Doesn't necessarily apply. Look, you can say whatever you want about people, and then you're subject to slander and libel if they want to
they can sue you
and sue you.
Yeah,
you know, and slander and libel are those are legal terms, and they're actually easily definable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's a problem wanting to make people's lives better, but the thing is, I think that a lot of people are not realistic about what that actually means. You know, like we saw with like Verbal was talking about, I don't believe in my truth or your truth.
Right.
You know, there is the truth, and the truth is demonstrable. And I think we had a real problem over the last, especially 15 years, when the actual truth of things in this country, especially, has been denied. Because people were saying that truth somehow encroaches, it makes certain people feel bad. If you can't say that because, oh, some people would be hurt. I'm like, you know, toughen up, man. Life's tough. The hard truths of life are things that we all need to deal with. I mean, the fact is, what I find crazy, if your drinking water is polluted, that's bad. So that's why we have environmental protections. But, you know, if we relax those environmental protections, we have to suffer the consequences. Environmental protections are good.
Yeah, but you don't think I agree with you. I agree with you there, but you don't think it is insane? To me, that's Orwell on steroids, like memes. They went after people people are in jail in Germany for memes. Like
that's batshit crazy.
It's crazy. And also memes are creative. You know, if you look at memes, there's certain memes where you go, that was really insightful and funny. And I think that we should foster that kind of thing. I mean, sticks and stones may break my bones, you know.
But they're talking about arresting people for retweeting memes, not even creating them.
Or retweeting
posts. I mean, both are stupid, but to retweet, you're getting jail time for this.
I find the irony in the fact that we have the people who literally created Nazis
are back to
doing it again.
Yeah.
And the only people who are cheering for it
are the left.
The authoritarian,
and this goes right back to our original point that they're basically new brown coats is all they are.
Right.
Again, man, we had a whole generation that was raised on participation trophies. Yeah. That evolved into my truth.
Yeah.
It evolved from that, right? That everybody wins. There's no losers, and you don't discipline your child when they're acting up in the store. You let them just destroy and do whatever they want because, you know, they're special, right? And they're not to be touched. Once we start whooping kids' ass, that's when we fell as a society.
Well, we also failed when we stopped raising, a community used to raise children, right? I mean, and that's a big difference now is like, you act out like the last thing you wanted is your neighbor to have to drag your ass home to your mom and tell her you were fucking off somewhere.
You can't do that no more.
And then your neighbor would be like, it's all right, I beat his ass for you already. And your mom would thank him for it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And she was more embarrassed that he had to do that.
And then you get whooped again.
It's 100%. The culture of the country has changed, and now we're much softer. We're much more lenient. Everybody's leaning into my truth, which is just alternate reality. That's really what it is. It's not a reality that anybody else agrees with, but because we're trying to be a kinder, gentler society, we're just kind of allowing people to have their quote unquote truth. But you're living in a make-believe world a lot of these times. All right, people think that I'm a woman. No, you're a dude. Deal with the reality of that. You're an actual man. And now they get to the point where my little 5-year-old thinks it's a girl. Like, no, your 5-year-old is not a girl. Your 5-year-old is a boy. All right. And so when we start to allow these things to kind of seep into society, it changes the culture. And so everybody eventually comes to believe whatever they think is the truth is the truth. And if you don't rock with their truth, they're going to go get violent on you. All right. And you're starting to see that starting to sprout up a lot more. It's scary.
Well, it's also, when you're not demanding of people, all that kind of ideology is a luxury item. Once you don't have to worry about where your food is coming from and where you're going to sleep at night, you have the luxury of gender ideology. Right. And that becomes, it's not just whether people are suffering from gender dysmorphia, because clearly people do. And that's a very real thing. Right. But now when you start talking about pronouns and all these different things, that is the ultimate form of luxury. That is the ultimate form.
For sure.
Then you have people saying, well, I'll call somebody whatever they want me to call them because I'm polite and nice. But to try and make it a matter of policy,
law,
and to try or make it a matter of law, it becomes a different thing entirely. And
that's what they're doing. That's what's going on with Germany, right? If you misgender somebody, you call somebody, oh, well, I didn't know what you were, but now all of a sudden that's hate speech.
Words
somebody,
are
which
violent,
is absolutely insane.
And that becomes, look, when I was a kid, if I did something bad, I got disciplined by my parents.
Right.
It was when I was a kid, my dad would bend me over and whip my ass with a hairbrush when I was a kid. It probably happened once in my entire life, but the threat was there.
You remember it?
The threat was there, and you didn't want your dad to come home and your mom tell your dad what you did wrong. And if I screwed up in school, it was my fault, and I got yelled at.
Yeah.
Like, why did you not have good grades? And it wasn't anyone else's fault but mine. And my dad.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, my dad would just look at me and go, "Why didn't you do better? Why are you not doing well? What is the problem?" And the onus was on me to solve that problem. No one was going to solve it for me. And my parents would, instill that. It was like, I knew to always look an adult in the eye when I met them and shake their hand, firm handshake. Hello, Mr. I still can't call my friends' parents by their first names. It's Mr. So-and-so, Mrs.
It's personal responsibility, Rob. You personal responsibility. You felt a sense of self-ownership, where you owned the outcomes to your own life. It wasn't on somebody else to fix your problems. It was me. No. If I was messing up in school, I need to fix this. I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I need to get after it. And a lot of people right now, they're just pointing fingers. Who else can I look to point the finger to explain why I'm not where I want to be in life? And that's one of the biggest problems. So when you start blaming everybody else, this is dipping right into communism. You're starting to, hey, it's the elite. All right. It's the bourgeois. It's not me. It's not my I didn't do anything. All right. So that's one of the bigger issues that we're having in culture, is because nobody wants to own their own problems. Self-ownership is the number one way to get out of any problem you got. Own it. Own the problem.
It's your trauma.
You are responsible for the solution.
You were given this trauma when you were growing up that you take a pill for it. You make yourself feel better. It was like no kids I knew, there was hyperactivity. I remember when I was a kid, some kids had hyperactivity, and now there's a pill for everything. Adderall, ADHD, whatever it is, which was a ploy by Big Pharma to get everybody hooked on whatever. But when we were kids, man, it was our fault.
Yep.
It was our fault. Nobody would help us. My parents were there if I needed help, they would help me, but they would expect. But then again, we were also kids that would get up on Saturday mornings, go out with our friends, and we would have the responsibility. We could do whatever we want, be back by dinner time. And my parents didn't care what we were doing as long as we didn't hurt anybody else.
Yeah, my mom told me that the doctor or the pediatrician once told her that I was hyperactive, right? And my mom's like, "What do I do?" She's like, "Put him in more things till he's exhausted. Sport,
yeah,
And she's like, "Okay, there was no pills." She's like, "But I heard are there supposed to be pills? No pills." She's like, "Just get his ass out there. He has energy. Go burn it off."
Kids are kids.
That's what we did. She's like, there's no, my pediatrician really back then was like, yeah, no, that's all BS. I wanted to ask you till Verbal gets back, because we touched on this earlier when we were talking about Hollywood. What do you think of what Angela Bassett said the other day? It was in Variety. That you didn't see. Let me show it to you. Okay, yeah.
But I'm a huge Angela Bassett fan.
So was I, and I want.
Well, you saying that she thought she deserved the Oscar?
Oh, I did see that for Black Panther 2. Okay.
Because we debated it a little early. I'm curious, don't you? I always viewed her as a class act. That kind of threw me, the deserving thing. And 2 years later,
remember when she got the award, the look on her face? Do you remember that? Look, or not when she got the award, when Jamie Lee Curtis won. When Jamie Lee Curtis won the Oscar that year, and they zoomed right in on Angela Bassett's face, and her face, I mean, if looks could kill, I mean, wow. He was pissed.
But I do think, I mean, honestly, I think Angela Bassett was terrific in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. I thought she was great. And the thing about Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere All at Once was kind of a novelty movie.
I got you. I agree.
I liked it, but it was like a novelty film. Whereas there was what Angela Bassett was doing in Wakanda Forever was definitely worthy, because wasn't she nominated for What's Love Got to Do with It? But
Tina Turner.
But she didn't win, did she? So she knows that she's had 2 at-bats to win this award, and she's lost twice. So I mean, her performance as Tina Turner was staggering. She was.
It was, but shouldn't she be great?
She should have won for that.
Right,
should have won for that.
But shouldn't she be grateful that she got nominated, like as anyone else?
Okay, but what's
it's
interesting?
Weird to say I deserved it. That line sticks with me. I don't know.
This was after the fact. I mean, if it was like the next morning, I would say.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, people. It's a Black Panther movie. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but that's true. And that's another thing. She should understand that a movie like Wakanda Forever was not given the same consideration. It was a sequel,
right.
And it was never going to be, whereas Everything Everywhere All at Once was seen as this very innovative new movie. And I mean, I understand it. Do I think
had Jamie Lee Curtis won before that?
No.
She'd been nominated, but she never won.
Yeah.
So that's why they gave it to her.
But yeah, but I mean, I think that Angela Bassett, I think that one day she probably will win that Oscar. But between What's Love Got to Do with It and Wakanda Forever is 30 years.
Yeah.
But I don't hold that against her. What I would say? I think that for her, she was being honest.
But it's egotistical. Come on,
that's okay. I think that's okay.
Actors.
I think that if you're an actor and you're Angela Bassett, I think that it's okay to be her. And if you look at her, I mean, she's on TV shows. She's on 911, isn't she? What's that show?
I don't know. I thought she only did movies. I didn't know she's on TV.
She was on a TV.
Yeah. She's on a TV show on Fox.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, she's had I respect. First of all, the script that I've been writing that I want her to play the lead female role in. I'm a huge Angela Bassett fan, and I think it's okay to be egotistical. I think it's okay. I think what she said was honest. She said something.
It's what Hollywood is. Hollywood is full of ego-driven people.
But she's definitely earned it. She's one of our great actors.
She's a great actress, man.
She's one of the phenomenal women in Hollywood.
Again, I agree. I love all her performances. It just, with me, I've never heard an actor ever say they deserve something. Work hard. I've heard that. I respect that. Work your ass off. I could hear, I worked hard. I really put my soul into it. I get it. The deserve thing got me, but okay.
Yeah, that kind of slams, Jamie Lee Curtis, and I deserve that Oscar.
The other person who got it didn't.
Yeah, I don't like it from that standpoint.
But I think, I think that article. Here's another thing. She's probably musing about her career.
Gotcha.
And she's having a long. It wasn't like somebody said, "Well, what did you think you did?" And this is my problem with a lot of what people do. President Trump had to deal with a lot of this, like that whole thing when he said there are good people on both sides. They took that out of context, and if you see the larger. What he was discussing, it wasn't, but they focus on that one thing. Whereas I think Angela Bassett, if you ask an actor years after the fact, how did you feel about losing that Oscar? And she was saying something that she thought was honest. I don't think she's like, fuck Jamie Lee Curtis or anything like that. I think she was just saying what she was thinking, and she was being open and honest about the whole thing. But I do think that I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's a proud Black woman in Hollywood who has forged a career over multiple decades. And, I think she's earned the ability to be honest about certain things, and losing out an Oscar to a role, by the way, she was favored. Everyone loved her in that role.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's why I would say I think she was just being honest. I mean, I don't think
everybody should be honest. I don't have a problem with that. I love that, but that's why I like we can take different points of view here, and I hear what you're saying, and I see your side. It's still
no. Is it? Look, the fact that the fact that it becomes the quote that they pull out and focus on.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's unfair. I think it's unfair because I'm sure she was probably, you know, they were probably, because Oscar, you know, the Oscars are next week. They probably asked somebody who was a multiple award winner, what was it like? And, you know, I'll bet you if you heard her tone, it would be different. Like, yeah, the words were correct, but I bet if you heard the whole thing or you were there when she was being interviewed, I bet she's like, I deserve that. I bet she a playful tongue-in-cheek way to deliver it. I don't think she's like, I totally deserve
No, I don't think she did that. I don't think she was like, no, I don't think that.
But I don't know.
My whole thing is you're not the one who's allowed to say that. Anybody else can say it. You're not, until you're like way, way, way past and beyond it. But I mean, you also got to start out. Yeah, you also got to start out like, look, Jamie was great in the movie, but I feel like I put my best into that, and I really thought I deserved it. But you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's how you got to kind of approach that. And that may be the attitude she had, but it's not. You know, we're interpreting it however the article said it. But I got to get to this point. Like, are we ever going to get to the point where we're ever going to acknowledge that Everything Everywhere All at Once is really just about a lesbian with mommy issues who undoes the universe because she throws a temper tantrum?
I mean, you're not wrong.
You kind of boiled it all down the way.
I mean, and you're not wrong. I was also not one of those people who was overly impressed with that movie.
I was not a fan of it.
I thought it was all right.
The special effects and some of the stuff in it is great. Don't get me wrong. I had a great experience watching it, but when I got over with it, that's exactly what I said. I said that. So it's basically about a lesbian with mommy issues who tears apart the universe because she throws a hissy fit.
Yeah,
I wasn't overly impressed with it. But okay, quickly, I was going to say, you know, what I was going to ask. This was in Variety, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, they're known to do this shit though. They're known to kind of like ask goofy questions to try to get a response, and then what they do is like they go with that response without giving any context whatsoever.
Yeah,
the context.
That's the guy that always asks, "Is this the gayest?" Isn't that a Variety reporter that asks that dumbass question every single time?
He's my favorite. Is this the gayest movie in the gayest history of gay?
Yeah,
I think that's a Variety reporter. So yeah, to your point.
Yeah, I always forget his name, but I call him. He's a gay Muppet.
Yeah, funny enough, what this Variety article does is which I don't know why they didn't just go to Angela Bassett herself, but they're quoting Angela Bassett from a Town and Country interview.
Right. Yeah.
Which is even like they're like, said this in Town and Country.
Which also leads me to believe further that she was just being honest about something that wasn't necessarily pertaining to the gist of what the interview was. I mean, they're probably asking her about her career. I mean, any actor, I mean, imagine, do you think any actor who's nominated for an acting award who loses is happy about it?
Of course not.
I mean, they're all going to be like, I deserve. Like, remember when everyone thought Eddie Murphy was going to win the Best Supporting Actor,
and he got up and walked out.
Yeah, and he didn't get it because you know there is the award prognosticators. He was supposed to have won that award. That's what they thought he was the favorite, and he doesn't end up winning. And part of it is like if you're a guy like Eddie Murphy who's known for doing comedic roles, on Twitter, there was a thing going through Beverly Hills Cop about how great Beverly Hills Cop is just yesterday. And there was a thread of all these bullet points about Beverly Hills Cop. And somebody pointed out that Eddie Murphy is able in Beverly Hills Cop to jump from serious to comedic in the same scene. And was talking about what a great actor Eddie Murphy actually is. And Eddie Murphy, because of his career, he'll never get the opportunity to be in a movie where he's considered a Best Actor candidate. And so he finally got into something. So for him, he knows, I mean, my God, he's had a great career since the early 80s. And when he's up for that award, it's not like he's going to get another shot at bat to get an Academy Award. So it's got to sting, you know, when you finally get yourself into a position where you're nominated and then you have to go through the award and you think about it like, wouldn't it be great? I mean, call Oscars or call any awards all you want, but I have never met somebody who didn't like the fact that they were awarded by a jury of their peers for doing excellent work.
Well, everybody loves it, but there always can only be one winner. So I guess, yeah.
Sure, but Eddie
he
Murphy,
made-
how many times is he ever going to get to a position where he gets? And same with Angela Bassett. I mean, she should have won.
I think she should have won for the Tina Turner, but
She
yeah,
should have won.
I thought Eddie Murphy deserved it for a Nutty Professor, man. All the different roles that he played,
Really?
he was hilarious in the Nutty Professor. I thought he deserved at least a nom, at least nominate him, because he did a lot of different characters. He was funny as hell.
Yeah, but the one he got robbed for, was Bowfinger. Never, nobody ever brings it up. Motherfucker plays multiple roles, no goddamn makeup, and it is one of the funniest goddamn movies ever. He plays twin brothers.
Chubby Rain, man. Chubby Rain.
Chubby Rain.
He should have won the Oscar for The Golden Child. Damn it!
Oh no, God no.
Oh no, George.
Let's not go there. Let's
Hey, you know
not
what?
go there.
I love The Golden Child, and no,
I do too.
It's a
but
bad
yeah.
movie, but it's so much fun. Yeah,
It's fun, but it's a bad movie. Absolutely.
I got the knife.
Yeah.
You're just gonna wipe that on your jacket there. I hope it freezes and you cut yourself.
By the way, Charlotte Lewis in that movie was hot AF.
Oh my God.
Hot as hell, beauty.
She
Yes,
was gorgeous, man.
No, but man, no,
Lewis.
you're right, Rob. Because like growing up, Beverly Hills Cop was one of my jams. Like I wrote on your post that you reposted that with. Like I can literally recite that movie verbatim.
Oh yeah,
right. Like I've seen it so many times. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. I'm a defender of Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Get out
That's
of
how
here.
much
Get out
I
of here.
am.
No,
And I hated the fourth one. The fourth one was
call you
shit.
some bullshit now.
No, the fourth one was garbage. At least the third one, he was still Axel Foley. And the fourth one, he's Eddie Murphy showing up to just be Eddie Murphy
Axel
for fucking
Foley
2
at
hours.
Disneyland was not a good movie, man.
It was better than the fourth one. Better than the fourth one by far.
dude.
The shit they did to Rosewood and Taggart was unforgivable.
Yeah.
They had him with his daughter who was pissed at him for no reason.
Look, making
At least
Beverly
with
Hills
3,
Cop
it was having
4
fun.
was bankrupt anyway.
I
mean,
think he
so,
should have
yeah.
won for Raw something.
Oh
Raw.
God! Well, Raw is still, as far as I know, the highest grossing.
I loved Raw.
Comedy
That was
film of
my
all time,
favorite.
as far as stand-up comedy goes.
Delirious though, man. Come on.
Delirious is the better of the two. He's right.
Delirious
He's
is
right.
much better than Raw. Yeah.
And actually, some of
like
his
that.
earlier stuff is even better than that. Like the shit he can't do anymore is even better. Like the buckwheat stuff and some of the other stuff.
I'm buckwheat. Yeah, that was.
So he did do that Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood recently.
Yeah, but I love this one bit where he's like, "What kind of fucking name is buckwheat?"
Well, there's that's another thing to talk about. I mean, if you look at things like comedy, I think we have become over the last 20 years really infantilized when it comes to comedy. People are so triggered now by comedy and they don't understand. I mean, we used to be mature enough to understand. I mean, poking fun at ourselves, what comedy does is get to those truths, those uncomfortable truths in a way that we can laugh about them because it's truthful. And now people are like, uh-oh, you're going to get a comedian's going to get canceled because of the jokes they told. And that didn't used to be the case. And things like Raw, I mean, people said now, well, okay, Eddie Murphy, some of his humor was homophobic.
Oh God.
But was it not truthful? I mean,
Most
now
of
it's
it
like
was.
you can't make fun of people. I mean, for me, comedy, all bets are off. You should be able to make as much fun as you want of everybody. And like, I think Dave Chappelle is one of the great comedic minds who's ever existed. His mind is, every time I watch him, I'm staggered by what he does and the connections he makes and the things that he can say and his insights. And we need people like him to have an unfettered platform where no one is gunning, even when he says things that I disagree with, even politically, we're on opposite sides of the fence on some things like, I think, Gaza, Israel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what he's saying isn't untrue. And I think that you've got to have in a free society, you have to have people like Dave Chappelle and a lot of the other great comedians and give them unfettered. They need a platform where they shouldn't have to worry about being canceled. And we can't even have comedians go to college campuses anymore without fear of people getting triggered. And when did that happen? When did people become so fragile?
It's a slow march.
Well, it's terrifying because what happens? That's a luxury. It's because people don't have any true hardship in this country anymore.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's even if you're homeless, you can go in and steal produce. if you want, you know, and in California, until you steal $900 worth of stuff, you don't even get prosecuted.
Yeah, New York, the same thing, 950. It's crazy
because of the last election.
Well, they are. There's so much going on. Then we even have who is it? The Bobby Kennedy. Where did he go? Yesterday, he just released this. Where did your ass go? Here it is. I mean, it's funny. So many people are triggered by the simplest, most nonsensical things. Yet in Wisconsin, I believe it was, the governor has now proposed changing state law that all mothers-to-be should be called inseminated people.
What?
Inseminated people.
We went off the deep end here.
That's just ridiculous.
Inseminated
I need to start
people?
to get Tom out of Wisconsin fund right now.
Inseminated people? I'm like, I was talking about that the other day, and a friend of mine was like, you know who else can be getting inseminated people? It's like if you're in prison and you drop the soap. I mean, they can call them inseminated. It's just, why would you do that? You're going to demean all the women in the state.
See that, but that's the thing.
Satisfy who? 80% of the country wants to drop this shit. That means at least 30 to 40% of the Dems.
But also,
who are they talking to? Like, that's what I don't get. Who is that government?
That's why I'm not feeling bad for these people when they're crying about their driver's license and having to, you know, use their gender of birth. I don't care. I have no pity for you. I don't give one fuck because of things like this, right? It's not enough for you just to live your life the way you want to live your life. You want us to participate in your delusion, and I'm not going to fucking do that.
Well, also, if you're in a car accident, you know, and let's say you don't present as your biological gender that you were born as. Let's say you're in a car accident and you need immediate medical attention. And if there's something that has to do with your anatomy that somebody is not aware of it immediately, you could be in a real world of hurt. And the reality of it's okay. We should be able to live in a world where you can be the way you want, but don't get triggered when somebody doesn't immediately recognize. How is the world supposed to know who you are? I don't know who people are when I first meet them.
Why don't we just go by what we did for 10,000 years, Robert? Biology, common sense, what we see in front of us.
Well, it's like y'all said earlier, like if it comes down to being polite, whatever, but don't try to make it law. Don't try to change language. Like that's where it gets off the rails. Like, wait, whoa. Not everybody is rocking with your delusions, all right? If you want, in a personal one-to-one conversation, if I'm talking to somebody, it's like, all right, what do you want me to call you? All right, cool, I'll call you that. But now you're trying to make it into law. Now that seems like that's changing up the game completely. And that's now we're starting to get down the slope where now you guys are going to try to change. It doesn't just start here, all right? I got into this argument about somebody that didn't understand, well, I don't have, kids that play sports, or my kids are already done with sports. So they're saying, well, why do you care that a boy wants to play in girl sports? And I said, well, it's the principle of the matter. They were like, well, you don't really even have a daughter that plays sports, so why does it matter to you? I'm like, well, what about my niece who's like 2 years old? What if she wants to grow up and play sports?
Your daughter's daughter.
Or my daughter, like my granddaughter, the granddaughter that I might get, coming soon. Because, my
How about reality
having a daughter soon, or having a child.
Reality? How about protecting reality as a father?
Yeah. Right, but that's my point. Like, okay, I'm thinking on a deeper level than just right here, right now. I'm thinking about my personal values and what I want to see, carry on throughout, after I'm gone. Right. I don't want to because what happens is one generation changes this, and then the next one says, oh, well, it's okay. This last generation did it. And then next thing you know, we are all the way off the rails into some wild, crazy nonsense. And it's like, how did we get here? And then you start scaling it back and looking back in history. And he's like, oh, it started back in 2025 when they said it was okay to call boys girls and let them play in sports.
Well,
that's where it started.
The first time I'd ever heard of, I didn't know who Jordan Peterson was. And the first time I ever heard about, years ago, he was fighting when he was in Canada. He was fighting against compelled speech.
Yeah.
And he was making the argument, and that's when I looked into. I was interested in it from a free speech standpoint, that they wanted to change the laws so he was compelled to call people by their pronouns or whatever. And his point was that, look, if you're going to compel speech, then somebody's going to police that speech.
Yep.
And if somebody's going to police that speech and criminalize that speech, well, what's going to happen then? And the idea that
it's all at the point of a gun. It's all at the point of a gun.
That was what he was saying. And I thought it was really interesting because that was the first time I ever heard of him. I didn't know that he had written books, and I didn't know anything about him other than, but it was the compelled speech issue. And that's what everybody, and if you watch people, like there's a trans woman named Lily Tino, she takes videos of herself waiting for people to misgender her.
Yeah, I've seen that, dude.
You know, and she's going through the last thing that, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but she's making videos. She's going through more transition surgery. But I'm like, why are you trying to go in public and play gotcha to people that are just trying to do their jobs? They don't know you. And if you're presenting in a certain way, you can't assume that people know who you are. And yet she was out there making videos to play gotcha games.
Oh, Rob, you're not even telling the worst part of this, man. You're not even telling the part about the fact that this freak, and I'm not going to call him she, because he's a pedo. He goes to Disneyland and makes these videos. Videos on how a boy, on how children should clip their balls and the correct way to have your balls cut off and that kind of thing, using lollipops though. Using
as an example.
No, this person is a pedo. It's a predator, and yeah, they're free to just go around making these videos on TikTok, and yeah, it's wild.
But you look at that kind of thing and you're like, look, I mean, I have to say, when I was young in Seattle, growing up in the film scene there was a lot of people. I had a lot of gay friends, a lot of older gay friends. Never once did anybody do anything untoward to me, ever, except invite me to Madonna concerts. I mean, that was it. And everybody loved film. The Seattle film community was incredible. And I met so many great people that opened my eyes. I got to see so many movies I never would have seen before. And there was no predatory behavior at all. And I'm not saying that
it's not them L's and G's and B's. It's the T's and the Q's, man. Those are the ones that are the ones that are losing it, man. Those are the ones. The L's and listen, I'm in SoCal. I've ran into gay people my entire life. I've ran into lesbians my entire life. They just regular people just going about that. They just happen to like
100%.
They just want to fuck who they want to fuck.
Yeah, and that's fine. But it's these T's and Q's that are like, y'all, man, y'all are off the rails, man. What are y'all trying to do? And they're the ones that want to compel speech and change up what we have known to be normal society, at least since, the last, 100, 200 years.
They also didn't go through a period of time where they were having to fight for their very existence, the way that the lesbian gay community having Stonewall and having to literally fight for rights, or go through the AIDS epidemic when I mean, even in Seattle, whole swaths of people were just decimated.
I mean, it's hurt the gay movement, I believe. And you can see the gay movement has tried to separate some and go, hey, this isn't us. This is as crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
they want to get those people out of the movement.
Well, it's like watching a lesbian dating service get taken down because they don't allow trans women in there.
That's crazy.
Because they're not women.
You're like, how is this right? Like,
that's crazy.
And this is where common sense has to come in and be like, come on.
Well, and that's where I've said before, like, this is where everything now that it seems to be like just common sense is considered right wing. It's like, okay, so anything that's like left or right of center basically is just right wing now, all the time, constantly. And it's just common sense. Most people are in that middle ground. Like, they don't want to deviate too far from that. They don't care who you want to fuck as long as it's legal. Like, we all voted and we said, yeah, okay, fine, let the gays get married. We don't care. But even Bill Maher was the one who
are.
Yeah, exactly. They have the right to be just as miserable and get fucked over just as much as we do. So, like, Bill Maher was the one who pointed out too, and we all were saying the same thing. It's like, oh, it's nice you have a gay pride parade. Where's all the gay folks in it?
Right.
Like you have everything but anymore, and you guys are right. Like the L's and the G's have kind of looked at this whole thing and gone, you know what? Fuck y'all. We started this. We fought for it. We got what we got. We were happy with it. Now y'all are just taking shit too far and trying to use our
they realized
movement.
that it was a Trojan horse, man. Like, they realized that they were had, right? They got hijacked by this movement that they thought that was, going to be supportive of them, but it turns out no. They're telling lesbians, hey, if you don't screw that guy with the dress on, then you are problematic.
Right, well, worse than that. Worse
You're telling
than
us
that.
the lesbians who don't like dick.
Have you seen the posts that the lesbians have actually shared on X or on Instagram where they're showing what the certain men have sent them? They're like, I'm gonna have to put it in YouTube safety terms. There was a lesbian woman who turned down a dude who's saying he was a woman, and he responded to her, and she showed the Snapchat. She was going, "I'm gonna show you what it's like graping in the bathroom." And these are multiple comments online. You're like, she's like, I have nothing against you. I like girls. And he's like, well, I'm a girl. She's like, she did a hand movement, like, no.
Well, I mean, but that's when that's when culture has to step up and say, okay, that's simply just not true.
But that's what we're trying to get to.
And that's where I think that what we've lost. I mean, and look, part of the reason, like the gay community, they would never, they knew children are sacrosanct. You don't talk about gender affirming care to kids. That was something that they lost popular support when they're starting to do that, because kids don't even know who they are. They don't, you can't puberty blockers and all that kind of thing. I mean, it's such a small fraction of people that could benefit from something like that, but you have to have checks and balances on this, and it went off the rails. And what you're doing is you're putting an entire, like you said, the T's and the G's. I mean,
I don't even know the names anymore.
But that's just, you don't do that. You don't bring children
never
into those conversations, and once you do, you've lost any support that you've engendered from people over the years. And I
think that's the reason why they're pushing so hard for the kids sports. That's their first domino to fall. So they're trying to get the kids sports thing. Trump's already pushed back against it, and then the main governor is pushing back against Trump. So now it's going to be a back and forth about that.
That's told her.
Oh God!
Yeah, I heard. I loved it, man. I was cheering in my
rad.
bedroom when I first read. I was like, "Yeah, baby,
Tell
him, Trump." Yes, I was feeling that, bro.
That was Afro energy. Fuck around and find out.
I loved it, George. I loved it, man. But see, that's their first domino. They're trying hard as hell to get that one to fall. And once that one falls, then it's going to be a lot easier to say, "Oh, we have case precedent on this type of a situation, so now we can go forward with this." That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it case law.
Yeah, again, it comes down to common sense. I mean, at the end of the day, our science and technology is based on truth. If you want to build a computer that works, you better know your math, you better know your science, you better know your engineering, you better know all these things. And there isn't your engineering or my engineering, there isn't your electronics or my electronics. There is only the electronics and the engineering.
Didn't you know that science is now a hate crime?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Anyway. All right. I want to show you this one thing, and I'm going to read some super chats just real quick. Well, let me read the super chats first, because we got a few stacked up. Okay. Where Breezy's Comics and Collectibles member for 4 months. Where are you, George, in One Piece? I am at the Punk Hazard arc, and I'm enjoying it right now. It's a little slow for me, but after Marineford, everything has kind of been a little downhill. I mean, I love One Piece, but I'm trying to get past this Punk Hazard arc. But thank you, Breezy Comics. Maybe we'll do a stream one day all about One Piece, because I know, DA, you love One Piece.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're probably further along than me. I actually, I'm actually going through a rewatch of what I hadn't watched, what I watched but forgot. So now I'm going back. I'm back at the Alabasta arc right now, and I'm just I'm early on, and I'm just going to watch like 3 or 4 episodes every single day just to kind of speed run it. But yeah, it's
maybe we should do that,
series, man. Yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down. Give me the invite. I'm down to talk.
Hell yeah, cool. See, you heard that? We're probably gonna have a One Piece stream now. The Blue Dot for $2. Eddie and Martin were great in life. I love them. I love them.
Yeah,
I miss old Eddie. I would like old Eddie to return.
I miss old Martin, man. What happened to that guy?
I don't know. It's just, I wish old Eddie could come back. Pilgrim Media for $2. Mackie has potential. He can get better. Cool. Next. Graph Web for $2. In the name of all that is holy, cancel Disney Plus. Graph Web is back again. He's got a heart like a lion. Thank you for that graph, Web. Everywhere, all at once. Darth Maul's lower half, love that name, for €5. They are then pressing charges, and the fines get split. Has become an industry. Some politicians have pressed charges between 800 and 2,500 times. It's insane, the thing that goes on. It's like I was talking this morning real quick with someone. I was like, no, the public should be enraged. You see a politician goes into office, they're making about 200 grand a year. About 8 years later, they're worth $14 million. Like, where did that come from? Just simple, you invested it? Cool, let us know. I just want to know. And when it's half of them, you're like, yeah, come on. The jig is up. Thank you, Darth Maul's lower half. Then we got Darth Maul's lower half again for $5. The problem in GR has become that there are startups which, on behalf of politicians, are combing through social media searching for insults in Germany. Yeah, it's insane. That's why I think there's such a backlash coming. I think it's going to get worse because this was, if I understand correctly, the fourth snap election in Germany's history.
They got money for that? They got money to climb through people's social media. Y'all need to start paying for your own military. All right, let's get up. Let's make these cats pay for their own military because they clearly have money to burn. If they have money to pay for this crap,
wait till Trump, because he's already laying the groundwork. You saw, I'm sure you saw it, DA. It was 2 weeks ago. You had the unelected president of the EU, meaning unelected by the people and just by bureaucrats. I always call her like Ursula von Frankenstein, whatever, because she's just a twat. And Trump had said how he was going to basically end the Marshall Plan tariffs, which have been going on since the end of World War II with Europe. And she's like, you can't do that. He's like, yeah, I am. And because that will benefit America, but it's going to kill a lot of the European market. And he's like, no, it won't. You will just have to start standing up on your own steam.
Right. Yeah, NATO is listen, this is what happens when we have been able to support NATO and putting all this money into NATO, and these countries apparently have money to burn, where they can burn it up on this. Hey, put that towards your own military.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it anyway.
Think if you don't have to support your military, how much money they're saving. I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity. Thank you, Darth Maul's lower half. Only got 4 more, I think, and we'll be able to jump on. J. David Gaybeard for $2. SS found listening device in Oval Office. I didn't know that. Wow, Secret Service found it. Thank you for letting me know.
Obviously.
James Busher for £2. Happy late premature birthday to the GOAT, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Happy birthday to you.
It's free now.
Castle Grace Skull for $5 Canadian. Congratulations to Canada's hockey team. Hell yeah, for winning the Four Nations Cup. I would have liked us to win, but congratulations to you. Woohoo! I wanted America to win, but I'll give you this one.
Of course.
You're always nice.
By the way,
you gotta be proud.
Speaking of Canadian, have you guys heard of dressed up potato chips?
No.
Okay, I gotta show this to you.
Yeah,
it's a flavor. It's a Canadian flavor, and in our grocery store they have like new products. There's a shelf. This Ruffles. They have these for $2. I got these for $2 a bag.
All dressed.
All dressed is this flavor. I don't know where this has been all my life.
What's it taste like?
Yeah, what do they taste like?
Oh, so I love barbecue potato chips.
Uh-huh.
But it's like barbecue potato chips that have extra spices, a hint of ranch, because I don't really like ranch.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the combination is. This stuff is like cocaine. I want to Tony Montana these things. I want to just punch them up and just
have a pile on your desk.
He's mine.
A mountain of these. These are so good.
I never break my words.
What's on the cover of that? What is on the front of that, Rob?
Is it bacon?
I don't know. Well, they got the Canadian.
Oh, that's right.
And they've got different. I don't know if it's. I don't know what it is.
They basically just took whatever leftover flavors they had left, mixed them all together, and made a flavor.
No. This is like it's a Canadian flavor.
I know, but does it taste
and
like
you're dying from it? It's like you're allergic to it or something.
Is it spicy?
It's salty, savory, and sweet at the same time.
Okay, does it have any cheese flavor?
That's what I tell women I taste like.
No cheese flavor.
No. It tastes like a great rub you'd put on a steak.
Okay, does it taste like Canada?
Dude, I'm trying to cut all the bad shit out of my life, Rob. I'm not trying to bring new things in, man. Like,
I like cheesy flavors.
John Campia told me when I told him about this the other day, I asked him because he's Canadian. I was like, dude, he goes, I have to get my wife like once a month a box of these chips.
I like
it brought in from Canada. I'm like, really?
Wow.
I like what Rhaegar Targaryen said. It tastes like annexation. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that's beautiful. Shinatsky for $2. The game Parasite Eve could make a great film. Oh, thank you for that. What I was sharing, Robert, before you came was Chad Stahelski seems to have like 6 films lined up. He just signed up with Netflix to do Sifu. Take the game.
Sifu?
Yeah, that's you weren't here, I guess. Yeah, he's doing Sifu for Netflix.
Wow, that could be interesting, man.
He owns one of my favorite book. He's developing one of my favorite book series into a show as well.
Okay, so he's doing here. Let me grab it again. He's doing Sifu. He's doing Highlander with Henry Cavill. He's doing
Joe Ledger books.
He's doing Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, there it is. Ghost of Tsushima, Black Samurai, Rainbow Six, Shibumi, Man from Nowhere. I think I've heard from Man from Nowhere, but I can't place it. Is that a remake of an old film?
It is. It's a remake of an Asian movie.
Oh,
it's really good.
But all those games lend themselves to being pretty decent stories. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it actually.
I can't wait. You know what? Ghost of Tsushima is my favorite game. Before that, it used to be Fallout, and then I played that, and I just fell in love. I would just stand on a hill and look at the scenery. If you ever played Ghost of Tsushima,
I do think most of these things are things he's just going to be producing and developing, though, because like the only ones that I think he's directing directly is just Highlander that I know of,
and
the rest
Sifu.
And Sifu. Sifu.
Sifu.
Yeah, it's SIFU. Yeah.
Sifu.
The story is interesting. It's basically a martial art teacher gets killed.
Very interesting because basically you start out as this young guy, right? But the thing is, like, and the fighting style is like very realistic, man. So like when you're fighting 5 guys, it's not like, oh, one guy's waiting his turn to fight. You know, you're fighting 5 guys, and it's very realistic in the fighting. But the interesting about the game is, as your character, if you die, you keep when you come back, you keep coming back older than you were.
So why?
There comes a point where you're an old man, okay? Ooh. And then if you die, then you're dead.
Fucked.
You're done. You're
Okay.
just done. The game is over. You're done.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting game, and it's going to be a really crazy series, man.
Oh, I can't wait. Is it a movie? No, I think it's a movie. It would be a great series. J. David Gay Beard for $2. Been meaning to wipe it. Okay. That's interesting.
Alrighty.
Walter White Walker for $2. People were happier in the 80s and 90s. Just saying. I agree 100%.
Me too.
100% we were. Absolutely. Gate of Marvel for $2 California dollars. Put your hands on double crunch ruffle chips. Never heard of those, but I'm going to check them out. You know what I'd like? Chips that taste like poutine. Poutine. I had poutine once. Well, it depends how you say
No,
it.
it's poutine.
Poutine in Greek is a
It's
whore. I meant
poutine,
poutine. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and being from Wisconsin, doing that to cheese curds is a crime here, by the way, just so you know.
Cheese curds. Really quickly too, going back to Sifu for a second. If you guys want to see what it's really like, there's this cool show on Prime, Amazon Prime, called Secret Level, and there's an episode for just Sifu where you could kind of see what the game actually, because they turned all these games into like these animated things.
I saw the Warhammer one, and then I stopped.
So they did one for Sifu, and you can see it there.
Okay, we'll check that out. And as we round this out, I just wanted to play and show what delusions do to society.
Internet, I don't really post much these days, but I had a bit of a harsh reality check today and felt like it's important to share with whoever is listening.
This is some actress.
So I'm sure most of us
Yeah, Hunter
remember
Schafer.
on...
What is it?
Hunter Schafer is her name.
I know, but what has she done?
She's been in she's known for Euphoria with Zendaya.
Okay.
I think the first day of Trump's presidency, he signed an executive order to declare only 2 genders recognized by the state, male and female, assigned at birth. And as a result of this, which I wrote down because I want to get it right, the Bureau of Consular Affairs has frozen passport applications requesting a gender marker change or renewals or new applications with a gender marker differing from an applicant's gender assigned at birth. So my initial reaction to this, because our president, is a lot of talk, was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And today I saw it on my new passport mail.
Oh, that's a dude?
Yeah.
So now to specify, my gender markers were first changed in my...
Okay, delusion. Anyway.
Yeah,
So,
she plays a trans actress or girl in the show too. So,
see, I think that part of that it does not help the situation. I think that's one way that Hollywood has hurt people, because there are people with real. I don't know if she has it or she doesn't have it, so I'm not going to make that. There are people with gender dysphoria. It used to be 0.001% of the population. Serious medical issue. They had to deal with it. They had to go to doctors. But when you turn it into a social, what's the word I'm looking for? Into a fashion trend. In a way, yeah,
but
it
with her,
damages society. Yep.
I want to point out that she was diagnosed with gender dysphoria.
Okay.
And she was actually, medically diagnosed. And I'm of the opinion that I think there are people, it makes sense to me that a small percentage of the population might have been exposed to more estrogen in the womb, and their brains literally might literally be a female brain in a male body.
Such a small percent, man.
Tiny.
Robert is actually right. Look at how many people are having trouble today having kids because the levels of testosterone are down. We talk
because the food we eat, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think one day we'll be able to see that immediately. You'll be able to detect that, your body, you were born, your mind is literally more of a feminine leaning mind. I mean, because that's something that could happen in nature. It's not something that it's like a 4-leaf clover. It's not something that,
it's always going to be an anomaly, right?
Yeah,
but it's not the norm, right? And that's the thing. We have to get back to the norm here, man. It's like
laws for the anomaly.
Anomalies, you treat them case by case. Right, you don't generalize an anomaly, right? Like you generalize the norm.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we're getting away that's the strange part of it, is that people want to turn these anomalies into you're making policy, you're making healthcare policy based on that, and that's not fair.
Let's be honest, man. Most of the people who identify or who go, that whether it's non-binary or trans, whatever, a lot of these people, man, I'm just being straight up honest, dude, are doing it for very perverted reasons. Let's just be honest here, man. They're doing it for, and I say that because especially for the trans women, because trans men are a weird thing to me, because I feel like I don't see trans men fighting to be in the men's locker room or to be in the men's room, right? And mainly because we don't care. You know why? Because men are generally, we never feel unsafe in places like that.
Right, exactly.
So
that's exactly right.
Trans man wanted to, biological woman wanted to come into the men's room. We're like, whatever.
That's why you don't have a bunch of trans men coming into destroying men's sports, because
you'll never see
it.
A trans man go into the NFL and dominate, or a male boxing ring and dominate. You will never see this stuff happen, right? And that's why it's so flipped the other way, and why women are, in a physical sense, they are weaker than us. And that's why it's so important that they, we do protect those kind of places, because, and there's a lot of perverts who lie and say they're trans when they're not. Think about it. This is like the plot of some 80s comedy, right? Where guys put on a dress and go into a woman's locker room to like scope out the hot chick.
Just one of the guys.
Yeah, just one of the guys. Yeah, that's
right. Like stuff like that. It's like
that's the reverse, but yeah.
But it's become our reality now.
It's crazy what's going. It is crazy what's going on, and I think we're slowly we are heading back to common sense. I wanted to ask every one of y'all before we wrap up: is there any movie or show that you're looking forward to coming up, or is there any movie or show y'all looking forward to? Dante,
Daredevil. I mean,
Tom?
that's kind of like the only one, really.
That's it. I'm looking forward to that. You're not looking forward to the Thunderbolts.
It's not. Look, I here's the thing. I'm letting myself just be surprised by it, right? Because here's the thing. I am hearing good things about it, but I'm not going to let myself have hope. You know,
wow.
I'm going in with very little expectations, and if it's good, great. If it's not, then hey, I didn't expect anything at all.
Okay, Tom, what you looking forward to?
Actually, I was looking forward to 1923 until you told me it wasn't so good. So
no, don't mistake me. I enjoyed 1923. My question is how long will the journey take? Okay, Rob, I'll share. I was talking about 1923 earlier. Have you seen the first season?
Yeah.
Okay. So season 2 picks up, which dropped the other day. You know the journey that the son is taking from Africa?
Yes.
He's still on the motherfucking journey.
Well, that's yeah. I didn't like that whole African storyline was interminable because it's so you're like just get back home, dude.
I know.
It's get back home. I mean, that was my one thing. I loved all the Helen Mirren and Ford stuff and what was going on. I mean, I didn't care at all, even though there was some good stuff in the Africa storyline. I just didn't care about it.
I was done.
But there's some great. I mean, I'll tell you the thing that the movie that I'm most looking forward to. That's I don't know when it's. There are actually 2.
Okay,
and they're both based on books.
Oh,
one is Project Hail Mary, that stars Ryan Gosling. It's directed by Lord and Miller, who did 21 and 22 Jump Street. Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian, has written 3 novels. His last novel is Project Hail Mary.
Okay,
I read that book in one sitting.
What's it about? If you can ask you, is it like The Martian?
No, it's totally full on science fiction. So for some reason, I won't get into the details. Our sun is dimming.
Okay,
and they send out a last ditch effort with us. He's now a science teacher, but he was like an astrophysicist played by Ryan Gosling.
Okay,
and they found a place in space where the same thing seems to be happening to another star.
Okay.
So they send him there to see if he can figure out, is there any way we can reverse this problem? And when he gets there, there is another ship from an entirely alien civilization.
Doing the same thing?
Doing the same thing, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And the alien ship and the alien that he meets is wildly different from a humanoid alien. They have nothing in
they're not biped or
no, and they have to figure out how to communicate first of all, and how can they team up and figure out by pooling their resources, can we solve our problem?
Sounds a little bit like
See, now this sounds
and
I was going to say actually it sounds like a cooler version of Arrival, but go ahead, sorry.
The book was so much fun to read. I mean, I say it was delicious.
I'm gonna read
and
it.
I read it in one sitting. I literally had heard it was good. I sat down. We have an island in our kitchen, and I like to read there because the kitchen's got the brightest light. So I was sitting there, and Elizabeth kept coming by. She's like, "Don't you want to go sit in the couch or something?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't want to get up. I was sitting on the bar stools that we have, and I just couldn't stop. I didn't want to even get up and walk to a different chair. I was so locked in on this book. I think I sat there. It took me 3 hours to read the whole thing or something. And I was just reading. I was so involved. And the other book that's coming out is Francis Lawrence, who directed Constantine and a couple of the Hunger Games movies. He has directed an adaptation of Stephen King's novel, The Long Walk, that he wrote as Richard Bachman.
Okay.
And I read that book when it first came out in 1979. I was like 12 when I got it. And the book is about a future dystopic America. And every year they have what's called the Long Walk. And they pick 100 guys, like 2 from each state, that are teenagers. And for whatever reason, you go into the Long Walk and you start walking. And you walk for, if you drop below, like in the book, I think it's 3 miles an hour, you get what's called a ticket. And if you get 3 tickets in an hour, they shoot you in the head dead.
What?
And so these 100 kids are walking, and the long walk does not end. You don't get to sleep. You just keep walking.
Wow.
And the long walk ends when there's one kid left. And the book goes in and out of the lives of these kids, the main characters, and you find out why did they join the long walk and what possessed them to do this. And if you win, you get whatever you want. And I read the script. The script was incredible. And it was a cult novel in my junior high school.
Wow.
When I was a kid. And then Stephen King wrote 4 books under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. He wrote Rage, which will never be made into a movie because it's about a kid. He wrote Rage in the 70s, and the book is about a kid who goes into his homeroom, shoots his teacher in the head, and then has like an encounter group, and at gunpoint makes all of the it's like the Breakfast Club with a gun.
And
we're not getting that.
No. So he did so there was Rage, The Long Walk, Road Work, and The Running Man. And those were the first Richard Bachman books. They were later collected into an anthology. But then when he wrote Thinner, which was the 5th Richard Bachman book, someone discovered that Richard Bachman was actually Stephen King. And like, I was a huge Richard Bachman fan, not knowing he was Stephen King. So I'm really excited about that. And then there's one more thing. Oh, by the way, I don't know if anyone's watching have you guys watched Paradise?
Paradise,
the TV show?
No,
I have not.
Okay, don't read anything about it. It stars Sterling K. Brown. Don't just call it. It's a political thriller about the Secret Service officer who guards the president, played by James Marsden. Watch Paradise. Don't read anything about it. Don't read. Going totally cold. Just tell them your Uncle Bob sent you, and you go, guys. Watch Paradise. It's on Hulu.
Okay, I'll watch it. What'd you think about Kevin Spacey last week? How he put Guy put Pierce in his place. I always forget his name. Guy Pierce.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes. I have a complex answer for that, but I don't know if I should say it publicly.
Oh, okay. Well,
I will say this. I got to experience Kevin Spacey working on Superman Returns.
Okay.
He was in Australia for 6 weeks, and he was great as Lex Luthor, but his behavior was, Guy Pearce talks about being handsy. I witnessed that firsthand.
Okay, but
and what that means.
He said something interesting because a lot of people were like, how believable it was. I'm like, well, he's a brilliant actor. But he said something, why bring it up 28 years later?
Well, I agree with him.
Well,
I think
and he also met up with him out in Georgia when he was shooting
in the Garden of
movie.
Good.
Yeah.
In the Garden of Good. And he's like, why did you come to see me? You know, I was like, yeah, that was just, it was interesting. DA, what are you looking forward to?
Daredevil. I'm looking forward to Andor season 2.
Oh yeah.
When is that?
That's coming out in April. That's right after Daredevil. I think the week Daredevil finishes is the following week Andor season 2 starts.
Yeah, I forgot about Andor. Actually.
Me too. It's sad.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
forward to
season
that. And then Squid Game. I want to see how it finishes up. Squid Game season 3 is supposed to hit in June. So I'm looking forward to that. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's cool.
You know what? I will throw Fantastic Four in there. I am looking forward to it. I just Pedro's the only thing that's kind of pushing me kind of against
bugs the shit out of me.
But
I'm looking forward to Superman 2 as well. So like I'm looking for
Superman,
Superman for you, Tom?
Yeah, and Fantastic Four. I hope it's good. I don't want these things to be bad. It's not, you know, a lot of people think that I'm this guy who just wants to hate everything. It's like, no, you realize that I'm all pissy because everything I love has turned to shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like I got into this mess because first of all, the problem was everything was the McDonaldization of Hollywood, where everything was literally the same thing after the other, just churning it out one more after the other. And then all of a sudden this woke shit happened. And it's like, I wish we could just get back to that McDonaldization at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where we're at. It's like,
you know, I would say that Mr. Grant Gregory is joining us again. What are you looking forward to, my friend? Anything? I can't hear you. You sound like you're muted.
All right, how's that? You can hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so the one thing I've been
world
looking
is
for
hazy.
since it was announced is Mickey 17. Anything that Bong Junior Ho does, I'm a huge fan ever since I watched Snowpiercer. I went back and watched his entire catalog.
Is that the one with Robert Pattinson?
Yes, that's the one with Robert Pattinson. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. And for
did you watch Memories of Murder?
Absolutely, it's phenomenal. Like, and the story, the real story behind the serial killer behind it, and the fact that once it came out 20 years later, they actually caught the guy. Like, that's the most insane thing. Once it got a wide release, because he left the country, so no one else saw. Like, he didn't even know it was a film about him, which is the kind of crazy thing within itself. But yeah, I mean, like, if you haven't seen Parasite, do yourself a favor and just go. Don't look at any trailers. Just go in and just watch that film.
Oh, Parasite! You got.
I've never seen Parasite. No, I haven't. I'm gonna watch it.
Dude, it earned Film of the Year. The moment that I saw it, I said, if this isn't nominated for Film of the Year, it's going to be an absolute outrage, because it's very rarely that the best film that I've seen of the year wins Best Film of the Year, and that was one of the years where it actually lined up.
Cool. 100%. Andor's April 22nd. You know, that's so sad that Disney has crushed Star Wars, because I did enjoy Andor season 1. I did.
Hey, they crushed Doctor Who as well. Doctor Who's finished now.
And Doctor Who is
quit, so
that's over. It's just so sad. And now there are rumors that I was going to ask Robert. Have you heard this rumor that's going around? World of Real have reported on it in the week that Johnny Depp is coming back for the next Pirates.
I haven't heard that, but that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he is that franchise.
Right.
Yeah.
How can you make a pirate? And look, you know what? It's so ridiculous that celebrities' personal lives get, thrown up on. We have to watch all this stuff. I mean, who cares?
We don't care.
We don't. I mean,
they canceled him. They canned him. Disney fired him over that Amber Heard bullshit.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why it gets bubbled up into the light. It's like he got fired from Warner Brothers as he was supposed to be Grindelwald in the Harry Potter, and then he got fired in Pirates. So, all right, why is he getting fired? Oh, it's because of these Amber Heard allegations. And then when it all goes backfires, look at the trial. Look what happened during the trial. Oh, okay, hey, Johnny, come on back. And Johnny said, not for 300 alpacas am I coming back, which I don't blame him.
No. Yeah, but
he'll ask for $100 million and they'll pay him.
Yeah,
that'll be what'll happen.
And
then you got to remember, though, is Jerry Bruckheimer is the producer, and Jerry Bruckheimer didn't say anything negative about Johnny. In fact, he was one of the people, I think, that testified in the case that helped him out a little bit.
Yeah.
So in that, there is always that bridge there. And let's not forget, this is Johnny's favorite role.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the role that technically made him a movie star, because, I mean, I've been following Johnny Depp since way back when.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street and 21 Jump Street. Cut my teeth on that shit. And then I was one only people going, have you ever seen Cry Baby? You ever seen Benny and June? You ever seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Nobody saw these things until way later, after he was a movie star. Exactly. Edward Scissorhands was his most well-known movie at that time when he was young, at that point. But yeah, so
Edward,
I think he'll come back.
Edward. Dude, he put life into that character. I didn't know anything about Edward, and then we watched it during film school, and I just absolutely fell in love with all of Edward's stuff that I was able to see. He's the best worst director on the planet, next to maybe Neil Breen. Like
I love Ninth Gate.
I did 2 reports as a kid on movie stars. One was him, and the other was Eddie Murphy. So there you go.
I love the actress in The Ninth Gate, the one at the end. Who the hell is she?
Dude, if you love Emmanuel Barrett, that's Roman Polanski's wife.
Oh.
You have to watch Bitter Moon.
Oh, hold on, let me write it down.
Watch Roman Polanski's Bitter Moon. Vangelis did the score. Peter Coyote's in it. Oh, it's the best. You're gonna love it.
Bitter Moon. Okay.
Bitter Moon. You can get it on Blu-ray.
Okay, because she was just.
But wait till you get to see a lot of her in Bitter Moon.
A lot of
that's Robert's way of saying there's nudity.
Oh, did I say Barrett? Did I say Emmanuel Barrett? Red Frenchman's right. It's Emmanuel. Yes, I said the wrong name.
Because there was a lot of her in the Ninth Gate, and Johnny was like,
"There's a lot more of her in Bitter Moon. Trust me."
Okay, it's time to end the show. Verbal Right, where can everybody find you? What are you doing next? Because I gotta go watch this movie.
Verbal Riot, guys. You can find me on YouTube, Rumble, and especially X. I will be tomorrow on Film Thread Versus, talking about probably Captain America again, or hopefully for the last time. And actually, I have 2 new videos coming out next week. So
Beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait. Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Espanol, and Midnight's Edge Greek coming soon. What are you doing next?
Well, you kind of already plugged everything for me, so thank you.
Yeah, I did it.
No, you're fine. But I might do I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a list show tonight or not. Last night was so successful and it was so much fun. I almost got a hangover from Flashcast, and I didn't even drink. So we'll see. I might do a show here in a couple hours. If not, I'll see you on the morning show.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then DA, the man who spits truth. What you doing?
I got the DA's office tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, somewhere in that range. So yeah, we'll be talking and breaking down Captain America: Brave New World. I got a lot of folks coming on with me. And then I will be going on Versus tomorrow, Film Threat Versus. So I'll be hanging out with those guys. And then, daily videos, you know what I do.
Yes, beautiful thing. And Robert, my good friend, I always love having you here.
It's fun.
Even when we have difference in politics, but see, that's what America was always been about. We can be friends, we can agree to disagree. That's the magic that's lost.
Well, that's the thing I've always had friends of different political affiliations, and I've always been friends with them. And it's so weird that in the last 10 years, the way people have become so divisive in this country, it's so weird. I'm like, I have all kinds of friends from all different political spectrums, and I that's why I like them. I mean, one of the great things is the thing that keeps America vibrant, like, for instance, in terms of creating software, for instance, we have many different, like, America leads the world in programming. And it's because we have a diversity of people. It's all of those different ideas that allow us to be competitive. That's what is America's strength. Everybody comes here. You add into the, I'm all about the melting pot. I don't believe in, keeping cultures separate. Get everybody together and have all those ideas. And it's always kept America competitive. I mean, having that's what America's strength is. Nowhere else in the world has our melting pot. But anyway, what was the question? Oh, where am I? I'm going to be on Versus with these fine fellows tomorrow as well. I'm on the John Campea show 4 days a week. Went back there. Of course, my audio drama True Noir episode 7 dropped. You can get it at truenoir.co. I'm going to have the final 3 episodes. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. And then, of course, Robservations, my own YouTube channel on the Burnett Work. Come watch Robservations. I think I'm going to do one tonight. I'm going to a movie poster show, a priest who had a great collection of biblical movie posters. I'm going to see a gallery show of he passed away of his posters, and he had a lot of Middle Eastern versions of his posters, things like The Robe and Ben-Hur, and I'm a huge movie poster fanatic. So I'm going to La Sierra University where they've got a gallery show of his collection. So I'm going to go see that tonight.
Let me ask you a question, because I collect movie posters. If you see one for 10 Commandments, or there's one that I missed, it was The Dark Knight. It was a poster done at what's the famous theater in San Francisco? It's a movie theater where it looks kind of gothic. They made a specific poster for The Dark Knight. The famous theater in San Francisco? It's like supposed to be like Man's Chinese, but it's equivalent.
I know, like I don't know the Metreon, the Castro district. I don't know
Castro. No. I'll find it anyway. Cool. That is awesome, Mr. Grant Gregory.
If you're a fan of the TV series From, I did an interview with the big bad in that, Doug Hughes, recently. So check that out on my channel.
That's a great show, by the way.
Bouncing around.
Cool. Really good.
Yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. So,
has anybody watched Reacher season 3?
I watched the first episode.
Not yet.
And
first episode and a half.
Okay,
I thought the first episode was good. I liked it a lot.
Okay, did anybody? Okay, I'm gonna ask.
You like it, DA?
It's the writing, man. The dialogue is just sometimes like nails on the chalkboard. The story really hasn't. I don't feel like we've really gotten into the story yet, so I'm still giving it a chance. But yeah, I checked out of the second episode for a reason.
There you go. I felt.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
The reason I ask is I felt that watching the first episode, I'm like, was repeating everything we saw in the first and second season in the beginning. I'm like, here we go again. I felt bored, and I felt bad that I felt bored because I love the Reacher series. I can't stand the actor, but I love the series.
Yeah,
and I missed that.
Do you know he directed a movie?
Alan Ritchson?
Yeah,
I had no clue.
He directed kind of a science fiction conspiracy thriller movie. It's called Cicada.
Oh, like cicada?
Cicada 3301.
Yes, War Memorial Opera House. That's it, Eric. Sorry.
Or it's based on the Cicada 3301 was the name of these weird online puzzles that gave rise to a conspiracy, but he directed that movie.
Was it good?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll wait till I will reserve.
Somewhere. It's called Dark Web Cicada 3301. That's what it's called.
Mexican Iron Man for $10. Bravo in George video this morning. Thank you, my brother. Like, share everywhere. Slayer Nation, share with 10 people you know, so we can get to 1 million views. Yes, thank you. I didn't share that with you, Rob. I've been waiting to hear what you think of it. After 3.5 years, because it was going to be a surprise, I wrote something and then I filmed it and I put it up today. It's called the Woke Monologue. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. Congratulations. How long did it take you to make?
To write took 3.5 years. To make didn't take long. It's 36 minutes, but it's a monologue.
It still took 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations for getting it done.
Thank you. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Everybody, if you can share it, because I think it plants a flag in the ground. It's not
I'll do it. I'm gonna go watch it right now.
Not a video. It's I don't know. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Next, we got Olaf, member for 13 months. What is this video? Is this
probably
your video?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Olaf. Bless you, my friend. Thank you. Red French Moon for €2. Though Emmanuel Burt is also wow, Rob. Yep. She is.
Yes, they're both. That's they're both incredible.
That first Mission Impossible.
Yes, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
She was like, and if I remember, didn't she also play an angel that fell to earth in some movie? Was that her first movie? Emmanuel Burt?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, that's kind of what Emmanuel Sanger plays in The Ninth Gate, sort of.
Well, kind of not an angel.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. Yeah,
the opposite side. Yeah, but she still looks good. Thank you, Red French Moon.
Yeah, you got to watch Bitter Moon, dude. You're gonna love it.
I'm gonna watch it right after we finish. Mexican Iron Man for $5. Me and Rob don't agree on everything, but we have the best annual dinners. Oh yeah.
Oh, we do. We have. It is. I can't think of a better dinner date than Mexican Iron Man.
Who's actually white?
Yeah, don't let him tell you. He's his birth certificate tells all.
I know.
I don't even think he's an Iron Man either. Can't trust that guy at all.
Unbelievable. He's just. Can you imagine that? He's lying to us about that. Nick from Base Network for $20. R&B. How many friends have tried to cancel you or unfriend you for differences of opinions that were left-leaning versus right-leaning?
They're all left-leaning.
How many hands do you have?
Thus spoke Zarathustra.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick from Echo Base Network. I'm so glad you were here. We got to have you on the show. Tender Warrior 68 gifted 10 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships. Thank you. Please, everybody, go thank the beautiful soul of Tender Warrior. That is awesome. I'm going to play this 1 2-minute clip and then we're out of here because I've been waiting to. I think it shows another side of Trump that not everybody recognizes and many of people in the media, the mainstream media, do not share. And I believe in giving you all the facts. Some things I disagree with Trump. Most of the things I agree with him on. But I think this is an important one.
The FBI called my husband and said, Mr. Gifford, please just keep your schedule because we don't want this guy to know that we are after him. Mm-hmm. And Frank said, I'm going to make one call. I will not agree to that until I make one call. And he called Donald. And I always stayed at the Trump Tower there, with the one in Atlantic City. And Frank called Donald and said of the situation. And Donald said, this is why I will love this man for my whole life. He said, Frank, don't you worry about it. I've got your girls. I've got your girls. And don't you worry. So Frank called back the FBI and said, I called Donald Trump. He says he's going to take care of my wife and my daughter. And next day, Donald, I didn't know anything.
This is 30 years ago.
He goes, Kathy, I'm sending my helicopter for you.
Oh my goodness.
I said, Donald, why? He said, because you had a baby. I said, Donald, Women have babies every
Every
day.
day, yeah.
It's no big deal. Thank you. But it's no big deal. He goes, no.
Kathy Lee.
Congratulations. So happy for you. Sending my baby, my helicopter for you and your baby and your nanny. And I said, Donald, you tried to talk Donald out of something.
Yeah.
That day he sent me.
He sent
his
helicopter
for me. And when
so
I
then
landed,
you're not driving to Atlantic City, so you're flying there.
and I'm flying
instead.
on his helicopter. And when I arrive in Atlantic City, there are four of his
security.
Oh, major. I mean, these guys are major. And I said, thank you, guys. And I never thought about it all week long. More and more people every day, more and more guys until the very end. And I went downstairs from my hotel room. I'd had a guy staying outside my hotel room all week long, outside my hotel room. And I said, why? I just never thought about it. Stupid, but I did.
But he did.
See, I find that amazing. Kathy Lee Gifford from 30 years ago, there was this criminal who was threatening her family, her kids. He wanted to kill him, FBI, but the FBI wouldn't provide her with security, so Trump did. She decided to share it. I thought that was pretty cool. There's a lot of people who he's done that for, which are slowly coming out. Anyway, God, I love all you guys. Chat, you're amazing. Thank you for all your support. I hope you enjoy the woke monologues. Please share it with everyone and all the incredible supporters like Tender Warrior, Blitzen, Mouse Road 666, Mexican Iron, every single one of you. God bless you. I love you. Can't wait to see you on Wednesday when it's me and Verbal again with Tom. All right, we forgot. Yeah, this week. And you know what I figured out when I finished making this video? It's really simple. You cannot be canceled when you don't bow down. You cannot be stopped when you keep moving forward. So remember that. Always forward. I love you. See you next Sunday.